competition in Super League is linked.
So what makes the Super League so good?
Take a look at the...
And it's probably one of the most unique leagues in the world.
The most immersive experience possible.
So great is the competitiveness of it, and the talent that we have now on offer.
There's nothing else in the world like it. It's the most realistic sim racing experience anywhere.
Five rounds in and a clear favourite is starting to emerge for the championship. 21 points clear and he seems to be running away with it. But you know what they say about Super League, anything can happen. The driver market has been well and truly shaken up for this race, and we even have Argentine racing royalty with us. So maybe the favourite isn't such a certainty after all. Who knows? We certainly don't. Round 6 of the 2020 GPVWC Super League season comes to you live from the circuit Gilles Villeneuve here on Ile Notre Dame in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Josh Randerson here is ever to take it to the action, and such is the shake-up in the driver market that my regular partner Tom Parker's not even here for this race. Don't worry though, because joining me for the second time this season is none other than Caitlin Penny. Caitlin, thanks for joining me, and if Adam Maguire thinks he's going to have this race all his own way, then I suspect he's got another thing coming.
Hi there, Josh. Yes, indeed, it's going to be much closer than it seems. Adam Maguire, well, he is 21 points ahead in the championship. That's still less than a race victory's worth over Yannick Buck, and it's still very, very, very early in the season. It is going to be tough to stop him, but so far this season, the pattern has been first, fourth, first, third, first for Adam Maguire. So if we're continuing with that pattern, that means that he won't win today. So indeed, it's certainly closer than it looks if you look at the championship standings. And this is a circuit, Montreal, of course, where surprise winners are certainly not unheard of, and the order can be really shaken up by the course of events.
Yeah, of course, the circuit is Gilles Villeneuve, a real driver's track here in the GPVWC. A lot of people like it. First time it held an actual Grand Prix was in 1978 in Formula One, and it's been the home of the Canadian Grand Prix ever since. And, well, somewhat fittingly, the track is named after Gilles Villeneuve, who won the very first outing here. But it's a real driver's track, and it makes a lot of modern history as well, especially in Super League. As you rightly said, Caitlin, anyone can win here. So all deck better off, so to speak, as we get underway with qualifying. And Adam Maguire knows he's going to have a hard job to get pole here, especially with the quality of the field behind him.
Of course, yesterday we were seeing very, very short lap times, 1:11s. We're expecting probably mid-1:10s here today from the Super League cars. It's a short track. Traffic could well come into play later on, but it does mean that these drivers get slightly more chance than usual in qualifying. Of course, they still don't want to waste too many laps. Because often you only get one realistic chance, even if you get more actual laps. But anyway, I think we should take a look at one of these drivers heading around the circuit. Let's look at Canapino, in fact. Augustin standing in today in that Go Speed Racing team as he heads through the opening couple of corners. Very difficult, very tight opening couple of corners, and that's going to provide some action at the start of the race, I expect. before you head downhill through turns 3 and 4 next to the wall of death, as I dubbed it yesterday. A very, very tricky wall that a lot of people hit. Up through Sebastian Vettel corner, not its official name, but everyone knows it for that 2011 race and that final lap. Into one of the first of three DRS zones on this circuit. Not usually an overtaking opportunity, but you can certainly get yourself closer to your opponent in that sector. Then you head up to the Pangle, which is the hairpin, one of the tightest hairpins in Grand Prix racing, and the tightest the GPVWC Superleague will be going to this year, since we have lost. We've lost Monaco, and then you head onto the back straight, very, very long, another DRS zone, the second of 3, before flicking over the curves, turns the penultimate turn, and then turn 14, before you open the DRS for the third and final time in the lap, and complete it in a time of 1:11.558, as Augustin does there.
Yeah, Canapino, a veritable legend in the world of Argentine motorsport, and just one of the shake-ups that we were mentioning in the driver market. I'll just run you through some of the headline figures of his career, shall I? 4 times a Turismo Carretera champion in 2010 and then 2017 through 2019. 6 times a Top Race V6 champion from 2011 to 2014, then 2016 and 2017. Won the Super TC 2000 Championship in 2016 and has competed in 2 IMSA events, the 24 Hours of Daytona and the 12 Hours of Sebring in 2019. You don't really get much better resume than that.
It's quite a racing record. He's a professional driver, and it's fantastic to have him here in the sim racing world. Currently 9th in the session. We know that he can go better than that. Although my eye is currently peeled on Adam Maguire here. The championship leader has gone purple in the first 2 sectors, and yes, it's early in the session, but look at that slipstream he's getting. This could be a very important lap as he opens the DRS and shoots past his teammate into the final couple of corners. This could be on for provisional pole here for Maguire. Oh, taps the wall on the exit. I still think it's going to be provisional pole, but that was a bit hairy. And oh, it's third actually, so he lost out by about a tenth of a second there, and that puts him behind Simoncic and Gobby.
Yeah. Obviously, Adam Maguire pushing very hard, and he needs to try and get this pole position. 2 purple sectors in 1 and 2, so he's definitely got pace today, but he's outpaced at the moment by Fabrizio Gobi and Yerny Simoncic. And well, we all know what Yerny Simoncic can do. Such a talented driver in his own right. Obviously, Formula Sim Racing champion, and Fabrizio Gobi, really one of the rising stars this year as well for Fabrizio Esports. So Adam Maguire knows that in front of him he's got some serious competition, even from Matthias Moos behind him, who's gone P4. So great result from him so far. Yannick Bok, of course, reigning champion in P5. Giuseppe Ragusa P6, but a lot of drivers up and down the field are going to be challenging for that pole position, and we have a lot of drivers shaking up in the driver market as well, not just Augustin Canapino as well. Let's move up and down the field. Alex Cooper has moved to Street Fighter Racing Systems from Green Stripes Racing, and this is going to be an interesting swap for him, moving from one Red Bull sponsored team to another in what is actually, Caitlin, his 100th Super League start.
That's quite a record, 100 Super League starts, and of course we have fewer Grand Prix in a year than in Formula 1, or at least we do this year and some of the others. But yeah, he's a real veteran of the sport. Hasn't had the best of seasons so far. He's got 1 top 10 finish, which came last time out at Baku. But I'm sure he will be hoping to move himself up the order here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I think it's a track where he's gone pretty well in the past. And for that Street Fighter Racing Systems car, he's just about to complete a lap actually, and it's looking like, actually no, he's just going onto a lap, so this isn't a timed lap now, but he is beginning one with 8.5 minutes left in the session.
Another notable driver change, George Whitehouse in for Go Speed Racing. He's standing in for Luca D'Amelio this race. So a double driver change at Go Speed. George Whitehouse, very talented in his own right. Definitely one of the rising stars of GPVWC. Going to be interesting to see how he does, so good luck to him. Chris Butcher obviously in 22nd from Sandeep Singh, who's making another appearance for Cosmo YT1. You got to wonder at this point, Caitlin Penny, is he going to see the rest of the season now? Because we have not seen much of Alari Alkfist.
Alari is, he's been a bit absent recently. I'm just looking at the championship table, It's sort of hard for me to judge because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and I must admit I haven't been following Super League particularly closely this year. Yeah, I'm interested to see George Whitehouse on the grid, simply because he's so young. I believe he's the youngest driver on this grid. I think he's 16 or 17. Maybe he's 18 by now. I actually gave him his ITC debut back when I was running the GT Hub racing team. But yeah, he's definitely an up-and-coming talent, and it would be great to see him do well today. Meanwhile, Yannick Buck, second in the championship, now fourth in the order.
Yeah, Bach, obviously reigning champion, getting up to P4. That's exactly what he needs, and we'll be keeping an eye on him throughout the session as well, obviously. One more real interesting point, though, regarding driver changes, and that's Lucas Kreutzer, who comes in for Mad Cape Racing Team. Got to admit, never heard of him before, but it's going to be interesting to see how he does. Obviously, if Mad Cape assigned him, he must be quite talented. And speaking of Mad Cape, new management at Mad Cape. Xavier de Cavallo out. He's left the team in the hands of Epic Racing former manager Lee Davidson. And that is fairly major because of how well Epic's season went last year. So Davidson obviously knows his salt, worth his salt, knows his stuff. Very capable manager. And that has been evidenced, ladies and gentlemen, by the second driver in that Mad Cape team. It's none other than Fabio Sixta, out of Street Fighter Racing Systems. This is a big, big signing for them.
Fabio Sixta is one of the most talented drivers on the GPVWC grid this year. He won his first outing this year, round 2, and actually that's his only finish so far this year. So when he finishes, he wins. So far, he's only 17th in the order so far, as Mad Cape do not have the best car. But I'm certainly expecting exciting things from Sixta in the race, and he is just what Mad Cape needs. They've only scored 1 point so far this year. I'd be surprised if Sixta doesn't come away with multiple in this one. But we shall see. Also, get a load of this, Josh. I have just noticed that Lauren Kiersmakers and Augustin Canapino, they raced each other in Super League back in 2006.
Wow, that goes to show, really, doesn't it, just how far some of these drivers do go back. Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right, Caitlin. Kiersmakers and Canapino both competed in 2006. Canapino, of course, competed for the forerunner of Nordstrom Racing, the Emerald Irish Racing equipe. Mostly racing for them in 2006. Kiersmakers, though, around at the same time. And, yep, both veterans of the Super League. And, well, Augustin Canapino almost took the 2015 Drivers' Championship, but for 3 missed races. Really could have been one of the favourites for Nordstrom Racing to take the title in 2015. So, Kiersmakers and Canapino, maybe we'll see a resummation of the rivalry from 14 years ago. Who knows?
Goodness me, their rivalry is almost as old as me. Anyway, as the session continues now, Dennis Jordan is on a flyer, and as I say that, crosses the line to go P5, so that is a pretty good job. Dennis Jordan puts him on the third row of the grid. Yanni Simoncic also trying to improve. He is going to complete this lap. He was his personal best in the first sector, and that is an improvement, only just 1600s up. Or 16,000 up, sorry. So Yanni Simoncic there. Goodness, still though, the top, well, it was that the top 4 drivers were separated by less than a tenth of a second. Now it's the top 3, although still you have the top 6 separated by 2 tenths. So at the front, it really is anyone's game between the first 3 rows of the grid. Some of them championship contenders, some of them not, but all of them extremely fast.
It's always been close, Super League. In fact, I remember in even Super League Lights last year, I was speaking to Mike Bell, one of my drivers, and he said, if you lose a couple of tenths, you could lose 5-6 places, because the whole grid was often between about a second or 2 seconds of each other. He was setting times for about 1 second, 1.5 seconds in qualifying of the likes of his teammate Lucas Schmidt, and he was qualifying near the back of the grid. That's how competitive it is in Super League these days. A tiny mistake can cost you 5 or 6 places. You need perfection in your lap times in qualifying, and that's pretty much why I don't race, to be honest. But yeah, these guys, the cream of the cream in esports at the moment, really one of the most talent-packed grids we've ever had in Super League.
Surprised that Adam Maguire's finishing this lap, actually, because talking of little mistakes, he had one earlier this lap, and indeed doesn't go faster. So I think he was just trying to set up for another flying lap. But anyway, jumping up the order there, I saw a change anyway, trying to work out who it was. I think it may have been Matthias Muster going up to P6. Indeed, it was. But yeah, I'm interested as to why Maguire stayed out on that lap. Maybe he feels that his tyres will be warmer and grippier the second time around. Actually, no, because he's 4/10 off in the first sector, so I reckon he'll probably be coming back to the pits to set up for one last attempt.
Yeah, he'll be setting up for one last run, so to speak. And while I'm looking up and down the order now, Jenny Simicic on pole as it stands and set to go faster, possibly even. But drivers up and down the field will be pushing in these last 2.5 minutes. And Jenny Simicic, of course, very successful as we know, but I believe without a win this season, and he'll want one really, because it will be starting to get to him the fact that he's not able to win in Super League in 2020. But world champion in Formula Sim racing, he knows he's got the talent. Will it come true for him today? Who knows? Mind you, Stefan Rualt, 200s down on him. Hats off to you, Stefan. That is a solid lap so far. Rualt has always been talented. We've always known it, but he's struggled in Super League. Could this be his breakout race? Fabrizio Gorbi, 300s down. This is an incredibly close top 3, top 4 even.
That's fantastic. Roro just set that lap and almost went to the top. His sector times were almost blissful looking at those. Gobby, in fact, could be on an improved lap. He's got a good slipstream from his teammate there through the final couple of corners. His first sector was good. That was a slick chicane. And as he crosses the line, this could be on for pole, and it is. Fabrizio Gobi goes to the top provisionally. It's a 1:10.737, the fastest lap that we've seen all weekend, faster than any practice lap that anyone's set, fastest third sector of anyone, and this could be pole for Fabrizio Gobi unless anyone else can find 1.5 tenths.
Well, who knows? There's still a minute to go. Someone could find that time that they need. Stefan Rualt has just come into the pit. I suspect he's not going to get another lap in, so Rualt will have to live with that 1:10.8, so to speak. Jenny Simicic will get one more lap, but this is an outlap he's on now, so it's coming up for him. A lot of drivers will be on outlaps now. Rualt is not going to get another lap in. Maguire, Bok, Jordan won't get a lap in, but I imagine Bok and Maguire will. Jordan will not. Matthias Moose may get another lap in, as may Ragusa. So a lot of drivers will be going for one last absolute belter around the circuit here. But really, it's going to be a case of who can get the most time. I'm looking at Canapino, who's down in P11. He's going to be pushing hard on his final outlap too. And he's got to find half a second if he wants pole position in that go-speed car. I expect a couple of tenths definitely from him. But we will see if he has it what it takes to get into the top 5, top 10.
Final lap now coming up for Ragosa. He's just made it across the line in time. I was worried because he had an off on his last lap, which was obviously intended to be his quickest one, but wasn't able to set it. But luckily he'd left himself enough time to go into another lap. Simoncic's first sector was good, his second sector was awful, so this won't be an improvement for Simoncic, and he's not going to get an improved lap. Adam Maguire's coming through on his last attempt. Oh, and that's a big twitch, and he's touched the wall, so Adam Maguire may have cost himself a chance to get onto the front row of the grid with that one. I think he's probably going to be standing from 4th at best now, but we'll see. He's got the slipstream down the back straight, and Panzer
crash! He got a draft from Simicic on the back straight, who was not going for a lap. He got a draft and he pushed so hard into the final corner. He just clipped the curb too much and whacked the car into the back. Panzer giving his run up eventually. Simicic gave his run up. Adam Maguire is going to come around the final corner. His car's coming down the front straight. Maguire is gone second. He has not got pole. That bit of contact you mentioned may have cost him it. Cars have been giving each other drafts up and down the straight. I'm watching Daniel Brewer, who's getting a run now from his teammate, who moves across. Brewer has got a chance here, but he needs a lightning fastest sector in the final sector. Will Daniel Brewer take pole position for IG Sports? No, he doesn't. He doesn't even improve position. He goes 10th in the end. Canapino 12th, but it's Fabrizio Gobi for Abruzzi Esports, who takes what I believe to be his first Super League pole position, and that is a stunning lap from him. Maguire, contact cost him possibly pole, but still a valiant second from Jenny Simicic from a brilliant lap by Stefan Rualt. From Yannick Bok rounds out your top 5 in qualifying, but it's all eyes on Gobi for the start. What a lap from the young Italian.
Absolutely wonderful job from Fabrizio Gobi there. He's upset the balance by jumping ahead of championship leader Adam Maguire. Maguire Yeah, I think that was his own mistake there. Tabbed the wall slightly coming out the chicane, and it wasn't the smoothest chicane in the first place. So Maguire ended up losing out from that one. Behind him, Simoncic and Rural will be pushing fast. Good qualifying from Rural. He's 7th in the championship, 4th in the order. But I'm keeping my eyes as well on the Evolution Esports drivers, 5th and 6th. Because I really think that they can challenge there, especially when strategy comes into play.
Indeed, yes, and well, the fans are out in force for Fabrizio Gobi. We have immediate comments of Grande Gobi, Grande Fabri, and absolutely was a stunning lap. So indeed, Grande Fabrizio, fantastico. And probably that wasn't even Italian for fantastic, but it was a great lap.
Hey, Forza Ferrari.
Well, if Ferrari were in Super League, yes. Although, to be honest, with the recent esports developments, it's a possibility in the future, isn't it? Who knows? Oh, well. I tell you what, though, that was a fantastic qualifying session indeed. And, well, Abruzzi, that is exactly what they needed. I'm watching the comments of Matthew Allington rightly says that Abruzzi have actually offset their upgrades compared to most teams. So they've got a really good car today. That might have been what got Gobi so high up the order. Well, apart from his innate talent, of course. But offsetting the upgrades, that might have given them a good car here in Canada.
Absolutely, upgrades, of course, a big part of the Super League Championship. It's one of the only sim racing competitions, possibly the only Super League competition, with the exception of Super League Lights, where you can actually upgrade your car as the season goes on and invest development points into improving your chances in the races. It's a very unique concept that GPVWC has developed, and it makes the season ever the more realistic, ever the more professional, and ever the more competitive as well.
Indeed, and well, we already had a guide of this fantastic track of sorts from Caitlin Penny herself, but we have another one coming up for you, an official one, so to speak, and well, it's none other than the driver who hits 100 Super League starts this race, Alex Cooper, who joins Liam Duval to take us round the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Technology, it's it is. It never works when you need it to. Luckily, our broadcast operator, Gerrit de Vries, is looking to restore that as soon as possible. He's going to tell us when we have the track guide ready to play. But yeah, do bear with us a minute, Caitlin Penny, while we get this sorted. You know what it is, technology, innit? It never works when you need it.
Yeah, we've had technical issues in the past.
No, unfortunately, we have no track guide, unfortunately. But, well, there you go, Caitlin. You've done the track guide.
Yeah, okay. You shot me a message as I was partway through it saying, don't do that, we got a track guide later. But I'm glad I finished it now, goodness me. But yeah,
it just goes to show I have no idea what I'm talking about. Why aren't you doing lead commentary?
Jolly good. Yeah, we've had technical difficulties in the past, but we have to say thank you very much to our cameraman and streamer, Gerrit de Vries, who makes it all possible. He wasn't able to make it last week with Super League Lights due to some technical issues, and we weren't able to even do a broadcast, so it just shows you how important people who do his job are. But yeah, in this case, it's obviously an issue with the video or the streaming software or something, so yeah, apologies with that, but oh well.
Well, I mean, it's perfectly, we all appreciate the work Gerrit does, and well, obviously he wasn't able to make it for Super League the previous round. We do have to thank Argo Tida, who came back for one race to operate the broadcast previously at Baku, so thank you, obviously, Argo, for that once again. But Gerrit, back with us once again, the master of the overlays, so to speak, really knows how to make a broadcast come together, and well, even he's not necessarily infallible from technical gremlins. It just goes to show that, well, it's just tech in it. But we've already technically had a track in that sense. We all know the circuit anyway, don't we?
It's a classic circuit. We've been racing here since, as you say, the 70s. And by we, I don't mean we, but you know what I mean. There have been races here since then. Different configurations, of course. There was a time where the back straight weaved and meandered almost over into the lake, and there was a time as well where there was an awkward chicane in the middle of it as well. And there have been some other minor changes as well. But we all know and love the configuration that we have now. It's provided some fantastic races in the past, and some first wins for a lot of drivers, both in Superleague, I think, and also Formula One. Yesterday, of course, Superleague Lights, we had Liam Duval winning for the 6th time in a row. He's really on a charge over there. But behind him, we had fights for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Name a position, there was a fight over it. And I'm sure that here in Superleague, it's going to be even closer, especially since we have a longer race with more strategy, more things that can happen, that can go wrong, and it's more difficult in terms of things like mental stamina and possibly even physical stamina. I'm not sure how much these drivers are pushing themselves, but yeah, really got to keep focused.
Well, I was exhausted after my Super League rounds that I did back in 2018, I'll tell you that. There was mental exhaustion, I think, more than anything, because you concentrate so hard on getting the car on the track. Of course, I did 2 races with Madcave back in 2018. Great team, of course, you know, brilliantly organised team. Obviously, Xavier de Cavallo no longer running the team here in Super League. That falls to Lee Davidson now. But a great team, and it was a great opportunity to actually get out and drive the cars, have an opportunity to really be in the driver's seat for once, and I actually finished in my first race, which is what I wanted. So, you know, I made it to the end. I wasn't lapped a hilarious amount of times, but, you know, these guys are the professionals. That's why I'm sitting here talking about them.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't stand a chance in a Super League race. That's why I've never done one. I'm very happy in Academy. But anyway, if anyone, I know there's been a massive boost in terms of the popularity of sim racing recently, and if anyone happens to be watching this for the first time and thinking, well, you know, how hard can it be? It can't be that tough, right? I would advise to give it a go. First of all, it's a lot of fun, and secondly, it would show you how tough it can actually be. Of course, the mental concentration side of it, I reckon it's actually more mentally tiring than it is in real life, because you have to really substitute and make up for the fact that you don't have that same sort of feeling through your backside. You can't really feel the G-forces as you would in real life. Even if you have a motion simulator, it doesn't feel quite the same, and you have to kind of compensate for that with more concentration and more sort of filling in the blanks. And as well as that, it's also kind of harder to see as well, because yeah, you're not tucked down into the cockpit like you would be in real life, but it's harder to see behind you and alongside you. Even the drivers with VR will have more sort of blind spots than they would in real life. So again, you really have to be so aware of what your car's doing, what it wants to do, if your setup's right. If your car is changing in terms of the way it feels, and as well as that, you have to work out where the other drivers are around you at the same time.
Indeed, yes, it is a tough game, Super League, and if you are thinking, oh well, I could do that, maybe your best place to start would be the GPVWC Academy. It's very much a sign up and drive series using the Formula Challenge spec machinery. Really lets you get a feel for open wheel racing here in GPVWC, and very often drivers who do well there have gotten Formula Challenge offers. In fact, a lot of drivers from a club I race in have been trying Academy recently. A lot of them have been given Formula Challenge drives. So it's a scouting party, really, for the superstars of tomorrow. And you could find yourself in Formula Challenge if you do well enough there. So do go up, sign up at gpvwc.com and get yourself a site account. Sign up for the Academy race and download all the relevant stuff for R-Factor 2 and you'll be ready to race.
Introduced a friend to Academy the other day, an iRacing friend. It was his first time in R-Factor 2, and he finished 9th in his first Academy race. So I think I found a promising talent there. But anyway, yeah, it's a really fun series. quite unpredictable as well. You can be, 15th on the grid at one race and then 4th the next, as I found out recently. So really, yeah, go and give it a try, give it a bash. There's really no reason why you shouldn't. It doesn't really matter how experienced you are. We've had some people coming in where it's been their first ever sim race. We've had an 11-year-old on the grid doing well in the past, David Fidok's daughter. And we've also had people up to their 40s or 50s. So yeah, really, if you want to get into sim racing, or if you're experienced but you're not sure whether you do well in RFX 2 or single seaters or GPVWC tracks or whatever, there really is only one way to find out.
Have a go, yeah. Do have a go. We absolutely invite newcomers, and well, it's been a real year of growth for us in 2020. Let's hope we can continue throughout the rest of the year. But yeah, 45 seconds to go now until the race. The drivers are really just going to be ironing out the final kinks in the armor, so to speak. And just before this formation lap starts, Caitlin, I want to talk strategy because, well, we're thinking one stop for this race, softs and mediums for the front runners, possibly. If the drivers are pushing harder on the tyres, though, maybe the hard in the second stint. And, well, what do you think is going to be the strategy for drivers then? Obviously, we're thinking one stop, but what about things like the undercut?
You see, I'm leaning more towards 2 stops, because yesterday in Superleague Lights, we actually saw several drivers going for 2 stops there, and yeah, the top few were 1-stoppers. But this race is longer than the Superleague Lights race, of course. I think yesterday we had 58 laps, and today we have 70. So that's 12 laps longer, and tyres can, they can be destroyed by 12 laps, depending on how you treat them. So I came into today very much expecting 2 stops, but yeah, we shall see. And if I was doing this, I would personally try probably soft medium, or medium soft or something like that.
Yeah, but definitely a 2-stop are possible. A lot of drivers were expecting 1, but, well, you never know. That's the thing. Drivers can sometimes make the craziest strategies work. And, well, time has ticked down to 0, so we'll be going to the race very, very soon. We'll be on a formation lap. 70 laps of Canada coming up. Place your bets now, because I have no idea who's going to come out on top of all this at the end.
Me.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah,
That's
Caitlin Penny's going to... we're going to put an extra car in for Caitlin Penny, and she's going to absolutely blitz the lot of them.
Absolutely. So Fabrizio Gobi starting from pole position alongside Adam Maguire. It would really take a brave person to bet against Adam Maguire from the front row of the grid. Of course, we've seen him being extremely quick so far this year. 3 out of 5 victories have gone his way. However, that's only just over 50%, and yeah, the odds of him winning today are quite high. But certainly, it's not guaranteed, and I'm not even sure it's probable, but we shall see. My prediction pre-qualifying for today was actually Yannick Buck, and since he's starting from 5th position on the grid, only the 3rd row, I'm going to stick with it. I know it's tough. I know he's got a real task if he's going to get past the 4 drivers in front of him, especially since a lot of them are championship contenders and everyone else is extremely quick. With less to lose as well. That's another thing to point out. But yeah, I'm gonna say Yannick Buck. Although I must say, the driver I put my bet on yesterday with Superleague Lights ended up DNFing. So yeah.
Well, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, on the formation lap, and this is going to be an interesting one for sure. Fabrizio Gobi, if he keeps out of trouble, says Matthew Ellington should do quite well today. He's on pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. He will need a good start, though. That much is certain, because Caitlin, Adam Maguire, right behind him. We know he's a hard charger. We know he'll be like lightning off the start of this race.
Absolutely. I think Adam Maguire is in probably the best position of anyone. Well, of course, technically Gobi is in the best position of anyone, but in terms of the championship contenders, definitely Maguire in the best position. And if he can get a good start as well, which is definitely possible here, it's certainly not unheard of to see P2 leading into turn 1, then yeah, I think he can very much show us all what he's worth in this race. In terms of the tyre compounds, as we're used to, all of the top drivers are starting on softs. That is, of course, because everyone starts on the tyres they're qualifying on. But actually, it's the other Maguire of Luke Maguire who is the first driver on the mediums, and he's in a very good position as well with this race, because, of course, he got free tyre choice starting from P11, and as a result, he's the top driver on an alternate strategy, and if that ends up working, he could well come into contention for a podium finish. Canapino also on the medium tyres. Sorry, he's a Super League light or Super League winner of the past. Matthew Williams, Fabio Sixter, also starting on the mediums. Winnick had a slightly dodgy qualifying in 15th, and he's starting on the softs. And the top driver on the hard tyres is actually Masciuli, who will be in 16th position, attempting to break into the points-paying places.
He will be as well. I'm just looking very quickly before the start of Stefan Ruert as well. He could be a real spanner in the works, Caitlin.
Yeah, also David Fidok, double champion, he's elected to start from the pit lane, so we'll have to keep an eye on how he goes. Yeah, Stefan Ruert, he could be a spanner in the works. GPVWC Super Cup champion of 2018, I think, and he is starting from 4th on the grid. He's on the more rubbery side. Although I must admit the racing line does tend to go directly down the middle here, but yeah, if he can get himself a good start, then as you say, he could be a real contender.
He could be. David Fidek going to start from the pit lane, mate. Broken Park Fairmate to do that. Lucas Kreiter just pulling into his pit box now, but all eyes are on the front. Fabrizio Gobi on the right. Luke Maguire on the left. They're going to be racing into turn 1. Gobi will have the line, but will he be able to keep it as Fidek trolls out of the end of the pit lane? And we wait for the 5 magic stacks to light up, and we will be able to go racing here in Canada. Hold on to something, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be an absolute classic. As the lights are starting to illuminate, it's going to be a 2-horse race into the start. Go! It's a brilliant start from Maguire. Gobi smoking on the grid. Maguire gets the better start, but Gobi breaks late into turn 1. He gets overtaken. Simincic gets through on Rualt. Bach, Ragusa and the likes are chasing each other through 1, but it's a clean start. That's exactly what they all wanted. Fidek comes out at the tail end of this group, but ultimately it's Adam Maguire who gets the start that he needed as we have a car from the back. And I think that is Lucas Kreitzer, who may not let David Fidek through, but Singh as well look to be involved as well as the cars come round 3 and 4. But it's the start that Maguire was after. Gobi has gone down to 2nd.
I think it was a clean start though. Everyone's still got their wings, which is always the most important
contact
thing.
at the back!
Canapino's off, and Sixter's off too.
Oh, it's happened immediately! Cars everywhere! Coming around the 2nd chicane! There is debris all over the track. Canapino involved. I'm going to have to go back and look at that because I'm not quite sure what happened. But it was the 2nd chicane where contact occurred. I saw Daniel Brewer get involved. Yeah, oh dearie me. Yeah, it was problems. Oh my word! It was actually Luke Maguire who hit the wall. Maguire hit the wall, lost his rear wing, touched Brewer who went down. Canapino had nowhere to go. Maguire then cannonballed into Sixter, and there was carnage up and down the field. Cars damaged everywhere. It's a havoc. It's Canada. Gaia has no front wing. Kilk is in the pits. Wow, that was a big shunt.
Maguire leads after the opening lap, but there's still less than a second in it. It's Gobi 2nd, Simincic 3rd, Rowe right on his tail, so it's very close there. Yannick Buck and Dennis Jordan still 4th and 5th, so or 5th and 6th, sorry. So not much of a change up in front. Lucas Kreitzer's just had another spin, and that is Darren or his first spin, sorry, and that's Darren at turn 4, and he gets going. That allowed David Fidek to gain a position, but as you say, Kilk and Gaia were both in the pits, and we've had DNF, Sixter, Canapino, and Maguire all involved in that incident, and that was all started by Maguire being alongside Brewer, and they both ended up in the barrier. I don't think Brewer knew he was there. I don't think Maguire expected him to come across, so I'm sure that will be looked at after the race. But anyway, we're on the slipstreaming back straight now, and I was expecting Brewer would be a bit closer to Simincic there. But he's got a fairly good exit out of the final chicane. But anyway, I think the next lap is probably going to be the lap where everyone starts to attack.
Yeah, that was just a chain reaction of events there. I think Maguire actually touched the grass and then hit a wall and then just tagged Brewer slightly, but his car came to an immediate stop. really, and Canapino had nowhere to go in and amongst all that. So a disastrous race for Augustin Canapino coming into this and now retiring in the first lap. Maguire out, 6th out, Canapino out. Gaia in the pits in 24th, coming out again. Kilk involved too. Kreutz up to 22nd. After all that, missing all the havoc. But Maguire, though, Adam Maguire at least got the start he wanted. He avoided all of that, but he's got a race on now because Gobi is chasing hard. Ruolt has held 4th. Good job for him for that. As we have cars up and down the field trying to fight each other after the chaos at the start.
Well, the reason that Luke Maguire came to an immediate stop was because he hit the bridge. He hit the anchor right where the bridge starts. But anyway, Gobi and Maguire now are separated by just 0.8 of a second at the start of the last sector. But it was definitely less than that by the end of the straight. And as they cross the line, it's 0.4 of a second. So we have a battle for the lead, and DRS will be available. So Gobi in the DRS range of Maguire, and as well Simoncic, Rohr, Buck. They are all in a DRS chain as well. They're over 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So this is where it's all going to start to change. Mirko Lucchini there just taking a look at Aris Masciuli over 14th place. They're actually starting on different tyres. So Lucchini's being held up, and that will not be good for his strategy. But anyway, up in front, that's where the drama is. As Gobi opens the DRS, and he's just got to stick with Maguire to get the advantage onto the straight.
Yeah, Luke Maguire in the chat saying he genuinely thought he had more room than he did. An honest mistake then from Luke Maguire, which caused that chain of events. I mean, you can't really blame him. It was very, very tight between him and Brewer. I mean, that was a knife edge situation there. So easy to get wrong. You can't really blame him for that, Caitlin.
Again, I'd have to have another look. My stream, my replay, sorry, it's a bit glitchy. But anyway, Maguire and Gobi still close. Not as close as I thought they would be. Although Gobi sticking with him, using the DRS, and again as they cross the line, it's 0.4 of a second. Gobi's last lap was 3 thousandths faster than Maguire, so using that slipstream to good advantage, but not quite good enough. Just yet, but yeah, I'd be surprised if Maguire was able to get away easily here. Simoncic and Rohr also still in the same order there, although those two are even closer than that. They're separated by just 0.3 of a second, and Rohr's car will be really moving around in the corners. It'll be understeering because he won't be getting the aero that he wants to be, and he'll want to move ahead of Simoncic as quickly as possible if he feels that he's faster. DRS open again as they go towards the braking zone. Faster chicane there for Rohr. This could be a real chance as they head up towards the straight.
Yep, indeed, things going quite well at the moment, and well, I think we're in the... Yep, definitely things going exactly as needed for him at the moment, and well, we are 4 laps down in this race. We're on lap 5, I believe, and Adam Maguire coming down the start-finish, well, he'll be coming on the start-finish after this chicane to start lap 6. So Maguire really pushing well here. Gobi behind from Simoncic, from Ruolt, from Buck, from Jordan, who has got a bit of a train going on. Dennis Jordan leading a nice little train here.
And again, they stay in the same order in the top 5. So I think we're going to, well, unless someone can change something, change the status quo, they're going to have to start thinking about the strategy, start thinking about whether they think the undercut or the overcut will be more effective and how they can use that to their advantage. George Whitehouse currently side by side with Robin Panzer. That's over 17th place. Whitehouse makes that stick, and while that's not particularly important at this point in time, it may end up being more important later on as the points only go down to 15th position. But anyway, yeah, in terms of the top 5, I think strategy is going to be the most important thing here. I would say that the undercut is going to be more effective. It does tend to be, although there have been tracks, especially on circuits with low tyre wear, such as this, where the overcut has actually been used to advantage. So because this is a relatively low wear track, I think it's a bit less predictable.
Indeed, yeah, way a bit unpredictable around here. We're expecting 2 stops, possibly, maybe 1 stop for the higher wing drivers. A lot of the drivers using different wing settings, of course, and well, I did say a comment before, actually, I want to refer back to about none other than Yerny Simoncic. Jeffrey Fournier is saying, what about him? I wouldn't exclude a plan change if things don't go his way. Apparently he's running less wing, so keep an eye on Simoncic and his straight line speed. Obviously, at the moment, he's 3.8 seconds down. Rualt's chasing him, so Rualt may go up to 30 if things don't work out for Yerny. But Adam Maguire and Fabrizio Gobi locked in battle at the front as it stands. So those two having to fight their own. Bok watching the P3-4 fight with rather a lot of interest in case things do go wrong. But Rualt is having a great race so far.
I was going to say, actually, it would make sense that Simracing is running less wing, because that is why he's dropping back from Gobi, but the others can't get past him. It's because the only real place you can actually catch your opponent enough to pass them, that's close, is on the straights. But anyway, yeah, Simracing dropping back still from Gobi, as Gobi and Maguire continue to run pretty much nose to tail. DRS was open there, and Rural there taking a look at Simracing again, but you really can't make an outbraking maneuver into that chicane because it's just too quick and tight.
Yeah, Gobi really putting the pressure on here. As you can see, he's getting really close to Maguire. He's not giving any quarter. He wants the pressure on the Irishman. He wants to show he can win races. But if anyone's going to keep a cool customer in the face of adversity, it's Adam Maguire. So Fabrizio Gobi needs to keep doing what he's doing if he wants any chance of winning this race.
Less than 0.2 of a second separated Maguire and Gobi as they cross the start-finish line that time around. And still, as they head into the Sector 2, it's less than half a second. So this is a real chance for Fabrizio Gobi. It's the closest he's been at this point on the circuit all race. And that does come with its disadvantages, because it means, as Maguire gets a little twitch, so Gobi's got a better run out of that corner there. Maguire got over the curve slightly, and this could be Gobi's best chance yet as they head onto the straight. He's got to get a good exit here. There's the DRS detection zone, and that is where it would have determined that Gobi has the DRS. The gap was just 0.2 of a second, and Gobi will slipstream his way alongside the race winner. He's up the inside, and that's going to be over well before the braking zone. Maguire knows that he can't fight it, and we've had a change of lead as Gobi takes him back and reclaims his pole position.
Fabrizio Gobi into the race lead here at Canada. What a result from him. Yep, Maguire lifted. Maguire actually lifted as he came through. He did not contest that in the slightest. Fabrizio Gobi straight through into the lead, and Adam Maguire is playing the chasing game.
Robin Panzer has just been off at the chicane. There was contact between him and that is Germano Zappola. He was fighting with Zappola and his teammate there, the two Cosmo cars, and Panzer ended up having to take the longer route so as not to pick up a penalty. But anyway, down to 21st position now is Robin Panzer, although he was out of points anyway.
Yeah, Maguire lifted as he came down the straight there. He gave that place up to Fabrizio Gobi, but Gobi likely running the maximum mapping he can on that Valiant engine to get the sheer overspeed. But Adam Maguire now knows he's in a fight because he's given that position up. Maybe he doesn't want to risk it. Maybe he just wants to chase rather than be chased. Adam Maguire risks nothing in this race. Maybe the story that comes out of it. But really, that is going to be a talking point if Gobi goes on to win this race.
It would make sense though, as we're about to see a move from Chris Butcher and Matthew Williams as they go side, and there's slight contact. And actually that demonstrates the point I was about to make absolutely perfectly, in that Maguire lifted off because he knew he couldn't contest it and he didn't want to go side by side into the chicane. Here comes Butcher again up the inside of Williams. That's very, very brave, especially since they've got a car right in their tail. He's trying to go right around the outside of him, and he puts the traction down, and that's a great move from Chris Butcher there to get up into 11th position. But anyway, that's why Maguire didn't want to go side by side with Gobi into the chicane, because there's a temptation for the other driver to pull across and try to take a better line, and that can sometimes end in contact. So Maguire there, I think, possibly did the wise thing, not to fight it and to just slot into the slipstream where he could take advantage rather than hold them both up.
Indeed, yes. Butcher doing a good job so far in P11 from Brewer from Williams, and Williams actually shaking himself about there as he comes out of the chicane, and well,
that's because he's just been off at the chicane there. I think he's a bit frustrated.
Oh yeah, he had. He's shaking his car up. He's annoyed.
Goodness me. So Daniel Brewer actually got past him in all of that as well. So Williams, he would be dropping back now because he's on the medium tyres, whereas Brewer is on the softs. Then again, Chris Butcher also on the mediums. Although Williams there lost 2 places in 1 lap.
Yeah, 2 places in 1 lap for Williams. He's not going to be very happy about that. Brewer will be happier with 12th, though. They want to move further up the order, definitely. Jordan keeping this train from 7th to 9th behind nicely as well, so he's having a great race too. Yannick Bock is stuck behind Rualt and Simicic. And I'm just thinking here, we talked about the undercut before. Tom Parker himself, who's in the comments today, says it will be huge here, he reckons. So Yannick Bock could go for the undercut. Maybe, Caitlin. Maybe that's what Adam Maguire was thinking. Go for the undercut.
Potentially, we're about to see if that's the case. Of course, we're only 10 laps into the 70-lap race, so we're not expecting pit stops just yet. Yesterday, we saw the longest you could run on the soft tyres was about 25 laps. People, if they were brave, could do that in the early stages of the race, and if they didn't feel that, then they went for that in the later stages anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see people doing maybe 20 laps on mediums and then 2 kind of 24 or 25 lap stints on softs, or maybe the other way around if they want to play it safe and not have to do much tyre conservation. So Maguire, he has a couple of strategies to play with here, and he would have done some testing to see if he can work out what's the best. Although, of course, that's only the best on paper, and when you have other cars involved, and things such as turbulent air and a change in track condition, etc., etc., that strategy can actually change quite dramatically, because it's all good going on, let's say, the softest tyres all the way through the race, but if you get stuck behind people who are running on harder tyres, in that case they have the advantage. So really, Maguire has to be, he's got to get his thinking cap on here to get past Gobi again.
Yeah, really needs to get his consideration hat on, so to speak, if he wants to get this race won. But we'll see what he does. And Tom Parker says 25 laps easy on softs, and if he can do 25 on softs, anyone can. So yeah, these Super League cars must be easier on the tyres than the light equivalents. But yeah, really doing a good job here. And well, Fabrizio Gobi, look at the gap there, 1.035 seconds. He's broken the DRS. He's broken Maguire's DRS range.
Has he?
1.035, yeah. He's just outside.
You're absolutely right, he is. Of course, Maguire could still break back into that with the DRS detection zones. A lot of them are in braking zones or whatnot, but yeah, indeed. In fact, he's in the DRS range now and does get DRS on the well, I suppose the technical back straight. Everyone refers to the longest straight as the back straight, although that is technically what it should be referred to as. But anyway, yeah, indeed, Maguire back in DRS range of Gobi, and that 1 second advantage is really the sweet spot in this race. It's the most important gap that you'll see anywhere, as that's the difference between those extra maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour in a straight lane and being left completely helpless.
Yeah, so Maguire back in DRS range, and that's what he's going to need. But as it stands, pushing a bit hard as he comes round. He doesn't really want to push too hard, remember, otherwise, you know, his tyres might go off a bit soon, but he's definitely, I think, going to try the undercut. That much is for certain. I think we should probably keep an eye on that battle, but also keep an eye on Ruot, because he's having a sterling race so far. We're 13 laps down, and he's still holding that P4. He's not overhauled Simicic yet, but Barker's not overhauled him. Ruot having by far his best race of, well, save for his previous race in Azerbaijan, his best race of the year, because he's on to match that result, another P4.
Indeed, and looking for P3 as well. He's still in the DRS, well, easily in the DRS range of Simicic, so much so that Buck is as well. But anyway, yeah, he's in an awkward situation at the minute, because he wants to go for a move on Simicic. I can tell that Simicic is holding him up slightly. Of course, he is able to do so and allowed to do so as well. But anyway, of course he can't risk doing anything too dramatic, because if he loses time, Buck could be coming straight past him as well. So here we go, DRS open, and he's getting closer and closer to Simicic, and if this was a heavier corner, a heavier braking zone, he would have gone through there, but as it is, it's just not long enough.
Yeah, Ruot has got to find a bit of a better opportunity than that, you got to feel, but he may create one as this race continues. Simicic will not be fazed by his constant closing up. That much is for sure. Brutal's going to have to just find an opportunity and seize it. But you know, any Simracing, he closes opportunities before they have a chance to open. So it's going to be a really good battle. And Yannick Buck will be watching this with glee.
Indeed. So Yannick Buck sticking there and waiting to pounce, waiting for Royal to make a mistake while going past Simracing maybe. And of course, you could also say that Buck could be anticipating Royal's move and waiting to follow him through. Basically, often if a car gets out of the rhythm due to another car coming through, they can lose more than one position. But anyway, here we go. Another chance with the DRS. We know that Simracing has less wing. He's running less of a wing angle than Royal, so theoretically he should be faster in a straight line. Although Royal does have that invisible toe line, that invisible slipstream, as well as the DRS. Yannick Buck has the same thing behind them, and actually Royal was quicker out of the chicane than Simracing that time around. But again, just not long enough in terms of a straight.
Yeah, not quite long enough and straight. If it was a bit longer, maybe we'd see some dive bombs going on, but it's not going to happen with the straight the length it is. And ultimately, that means that the likes of Rualt and Buck cannot get past each other, really. So, yeah, Rualt's going to have to force an opportunity here just by keeping close, and he's going to have to do that in the opening stages of the lap. Although, he's looking pretty close now. Don't think it'll be an overtake battle down the back straight here.
Here comes Brewer around the outside of Butcher. That's a tight chicane for a move like that, but he's made it stick because he's on softer tyres, and Matthew Williams right on the tail as well. But yeah, Butcher has been in the midst of a lot of the closer battles in this order today, and there went another one.
Yeah, definitely there goes another one for him, and well, open that.
I think Maguire's made a mistake somewhere because he's lost 7 tenths to Gobi.
He has lost. He's lost time somewhere. I'm not sure where though. I'm going to scan back and see if I can find. Maybe he was just a bit slower in one of the corners. Yeah, I know. I think he just slowed down a bit, or Gobi sped up. One of the two, but I don't think Maguire's made a mistake anyway.
Well, he lost about 7 tenths to Gobi just in that sector alone, and now he's 2 seconds behind. So Maguire there dropping back from Gobi somehow, and Gobi's last lap was well, actually we haven't seen the lap times yet, but anyway, yeah, that's well and truly out of the DRS range now, and it may just be that he lost the DRS and suddenly wasn't able to stick with Gobi anymore because he didn't have that extra straight line speed, and now we're seeing their true relative pace.
Yeah, now we're saying that Gobi's really putting the hammer down there. Last lap was actually only 2 tenths between the two of them, apparently, according to race view. So obviously time was gained by Maguire elsewhere in the lap, but then lost. So really, Maguire has got it all to do now.
It was that lap plus the previous lap that adds up to almost 8 tenths per second. But even this lap, he's dropping back another 2 tenths in the second sector, and probably more in the third as well. So Gobi pulling away. He's got a bit of traffic up in front of him, so needs to be careful about how he clears that. But yeah, this is a good drive from Gobi, and of course it's always better to have more of a buffer, more of a margin for error in this race, because if you make an error, that can potentially keep you the position, and also it can help you in terms of strategy. It can give you more strategy options in terms of what you can do without your opponents getting ahead of you. But that goes without saying, really. Anyone with a brain could tell you that it's better to be further ahead than closer to your rivals. But anyway, Gobi showing exactly how it needs to be done now, as Maguire himself continues to pull away from the battle of the third between Simracing, and Buck.
Yeah, Gobi's now coming up to lap traffic in the form of Florian Gaia in the Street Fighter car there. So Gaia, I assume, will just stay on the inside here, let Gobi draft him. He won't do anything unpredictable here, as, yep, he just moves straight over, lets Gobi go through, gets the draft as well. Maguire will not be so lucky this time around, so that's going to be time gained for Gobi. Maguire, though, will get the draft later in the lap.
Gobi's best result of the year so far has been a third place. He finished third at Bahrain. Although I don't expect he would have expected to be leading today. He's brand new to Super League for this year and to GPVWC as a whole. We haven't seen him race at all before, and well, he's making a real name for himself here. He's now 2.6 seconds out in front. Meanwhile, was that a little change I saw further back in the order? Yes, it was. It was Alex Cooper getting past Mirko Lucchini over 14th position. So that's a change in the lower points-paying positions. But anyway, still yet to see strategy coming into to play. And we've got a mega run on Simracing there coming into the first DRS zone. But then again, I could have said that about 15 times already this race, so we'll see if he can make anything of it this lap. As now they're approaching the traffic up ahead.
Yeah, starting to hit the traffic, and well, a word for Mirko Lucchini actually. Current Green Stripes driver overtaken by former Green Stripes driver turned Street Fighter driver Cooper there, so a bit of inter-team rivalry going on. But Cooper starting to move up the order nicely as well. Williams and Butcher ahead of them too, both still fighting it out for P12. I'm keeping an eye on the likes of Kiersbeck, Mus, Ragusa and Jordan as well, who are all involved with each other. Rualt and Simic is still fighting, not close enough to make a move, though Box seems to be dragging back a bit at this point, maybe looking for an undercut opportunity, as will Maguire, although, well, Fabrizio Gobi has almost got 3 seconds on the Irishman now.
So, once again, Stefan Rohr not able to make a move on Simracing. This is the advantage of having lower wings. People can stick with you, but they can't pass you. Because the straights are where you're going to set up the moves. But anyway, Stefan Rohr still trying, still sticking with him, and when they get into the strategy phase, he has every chance of jumping ahead of Simracing with the undercut. We'll just have to see what they both go for, and if he capitalizes on the opportunity, because of course he doesn't want to let Buck through. If Buck gets some clean air, then he's really stuffed. But anyway. That's the delicate balance you have to take in a race like this. Are you attacking, or are you defending, or are you going to run your own race and pretend that your opponents aren't even there? All of them have advantages and disadvantages depending on where you are. And Adam Maguire pits from second.
This is it. This is the undercut we were talking about. He's going for obviously that 2-stop strategy that we mentioned, possibly coming in on lap 20, and he's going to put on. Oh, he's put the hards on, so maybe 1 stop till the end of the race. He'd be asking those hards to go 50 laps, but given the predictions we saw from the likes of Mike Bell and Tom Parker, if the softs are going 25, it's not beyond the hards to go 50.
Well, that's absolutely true. Or he could be going 30 on the hards and then another 20 on the softs. But yeah, I think the fact he's going for hards, it shows that he has more. It shows that he has an intent to run longer than say if he put on the mediums. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that, but you said we were expecting 1-stops today. Maybe we really are.
He's got the hards on indeed, and he'll be going till the end, I think. I mean, Cameron Rogers saying easy 1-stop. Tom Parker, easy 1-stop. I think my suspicions have been confirmed there then. Adam Maguire, 1 and done.
Well, I must be wrong.
Well, it's a valid option, a 2-stop, if you want to use your tyres a bit more. We'll see if anyone responds. Scobie has not, Simic has not, neither is Ron, neither is Jordan. Ragusa, Musk, Kiersbeck is all, it looks like Linex, so he's on his own.
Of course, Adam Maguire is the championship leader, so I trust his judgment better than mine. He's driven this track in this car, and I've not. I've driven this track and I've driven this car, but not both at the same time. But anyway, yeah, running away. Oh, sorry, running in clean air now after his pit stop. He's got about a 5-second gap up to Winnick and another 6 seconds behind De Brewer. So actually he's come out in very clean air, and that's exactly what he would have wanted. He knows he can't fight anyone on those harder tyres, and he knows that it would just cost him time. So actually he's come out in pretty much the best position he could have done there. And possibly the best strategy as well, but as you're saying, that remains to be seen. I'm still expecting at least some of the front runners to try the 2-stop, especially those drivers who need to go for the alternate strategy because they've got no other real option.
Yeah, I think, well, this has worked out really well for Adam Maguire. He's just slotted himself into a gap. He's going to absolutely stretch it from here and see if he can get the time back over the rest of the race. I'm looking at the sector times now, and Maguire's last sector was a 23, Gobi's a 25, Ruel in. This will probably be a response to Maguire, given the people seeing the sector times ago. Yep, he's on the hards too. Think it's a copycat scenario now. People will be doing what Adam does.
However, Royal had more laps on the softer tyres, so did he use those to his advantage, or was he too stuck behind Simracing to do so? We'll find out later. He has come up behind Maguire. That's what we expected because he was behind him already. The gap before the pit stops, I think, was about 6 seconds, so we'll see exactly how that's changed. But yeah, both of them on the harder tyres, and Royal, of course, spent more time on the softer tyres and will have fresher hards as well. So I think Royal probably benefited more from that. However, he was held up by Simracing, whereas Maguire had clean air. So it's tough to decide, and really, I think it may end up being quite even between the two.
I just counted the gap at 4.5 seconds, so I think he's gained 1.5 seconds by staying out a little bit longer. But Maguire saw the opportunity to go for a gap, and then he would have a slot on track. And then he's taking a Gobi in. This is a response. This is a direct response from Fabrizio Gobi now. Mike Pittman will have called him in, seeing what Maguire's done. He may have gained a bit of time in his own right. Yannick Simracing stays out. Yannick Box stays out. Dennis Jordan stays out. Ragusa stays out. Kees Mackers. But we're looking at Maguire as Gobi comes into the pit. He will take the hards. And I'm looking at Adam Maguire as he comes down the start finish past the wall of champions. I think he's going to get past Gobi here. And it's going to be close. It's going to be so close, but I think Gobi's come out in front. Gobi has come out in front of Maguire. The gap is 2 seconds. The undercut has not worked.
He maintains the lead, but he's still got traffic up in front of him, much more so than Maguire did when he came out of the pits. They're beginning to catch Winnick on those older tyres. So we'll see how that ends up affecting him. They're both on hard tyres, of course, so they are in... they're pretty equal, actually, pretty even. Royal is as well. And I think the most important thing here is whether Royal can jump ahead of Simracing and what Buck's going to do about it all as well. But yeah, Gobi still effectively leading this race ahead of Maguire and possibly Royal, possibly Simracing. Simracing does not come in, and Buck doesn't either. So they're both staying out again. And I wouldn't be surprised if Simracing in particular goes for the two-stop. Keersmakers is in the pits. Whitehouse was in the pits. He's come out. Other drivers pitted on that lap as well. I think Lucchini came in, and I think Fidok did as well. So definitely it seems that the first wave of drivers are all going on to the harder compound of tyre and possibly running till the end.
Yannick Simracing just went and set the fastest lap of the race too, a 1:13.2 on soft tyres that are 24 laps old. If that's not an indication of pure talent right there, I don't know what is. Sandeep Singh and David Fidek both in the pits as well. But if Simracing is setting fastest laps of the race on those tyres, he could be in for a seriously good result. He might still be winning the shot or winning this race if he can keep that pace up.
Burazov! Brewer, who was running in the top 10, is out of the race. He spun it and he's crashed it at, that's a very difficult corner. It's a place where a lot of people, and that's an interesting DNF actually. I wouldn't have thought that he would have lost the engine from that, but maybe he did, and he is out of the race. So Daniel Brewer, who was on course for an easy top 10 there, he's now on course for nothing at all.
Yeah, he just he spun it out at 4. I don't think he had lost the engine actually. I think he just went. I don't know what happened, but he spun it and now he's out. But yeah, that is very, very unfortunate for Daniel Brewer there, who was just done that. Yannick Simracing has just done a 0.348 to follow up a 2.7 on 25 lap old tyres. Yannick, man, you're killing me here.
Yikes, Yannick Simracing there running very, very quickly. And what does that mean for the race? What does that mean in terms of how good the softer tyres are and how long you can run them? I think that means two-stop. I hope so anyway, just to redeem what I said at the start of the race. Williams and Butcher side by side, almost tangling wheels as they fight over 11th place there. And they do rub wheels a couple of times and again as they head through the chicane. Williams coming out on top, but these two have been fighting all race long. They've got the Grand Prix Centenarian. Am I saying that right? Whatever.
Centenarian Alex Cooper. Yes, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I think I tried to cross Centenarian and Veterinarian there, but anyway.
Well, he's certainly nursing that car into a very good P13 at the moment, is Alex Cooper, and he's doing a very good job of it. But I mean, Yerny Simracing, you've got to admit, come on. That's absolutely brilliant from him. Oh, everybody's pitting. Time to go faster, he says. Imagine Lynette come in for new tyres as well. He's done a 13.4. I mean, he must have tyre saved early in the stint. He's going to go for mediums in the second half of this race. He'll have the tyre advantage on the likes of Maguire and Bruwalt and all the others who stopped for hards now. Definitely still a shoe-in for the win of this race.
And I've just realised I wasn't even looking for the word veterinarian, I was looking for the word veteran. Oh my goodness. Anyway, as more drivers pit, Winnick's just exiting the pits. He got passed by Gobi literally just before he came in, so Gobi would have done better to have waited. But anyway, Winnick into the pits, Butcher also into the pits there, and other drivers I think coming in as well further back. But anyway, Lucas Kreutzer in from 22nd. He's been having a tough race. Of course, we saw him spinning once in the early stages and going off again, and I think he's had more incidents that we haven't seen as well. But anyway, this could turn into a race of attrition. It's a difficult circuit, so it's good that he carries on going. Matthias Moose now into the pits. So Moose, who was in the top 5, into the pits, and does he go into mediums like I expect he will? As Maguire now right onto the back of Gobi. He's caught up. Goodness me, he's in the DRS range.
Hards for Moose and Gobi, yes. Gobi's right on the back of got Maguire right on the back of him, so maybe this is going to work out for Maguire after all. It's going to be interesting for those two. Although the last lap from Yerny Simracing was 1:13.3. Maguire's just set the fastest lap at a 1:13.1. So now the hard tyres are coming into their own. Now Adam Maguire's starting to push. Even though he's got the likes of Gobi in front and traffic ahead, he is going to go through his, I think that's Gaia being lapped again. That is the number 12 car being lapped. That's, I think that is in fact Florian Gaia. Yes, it is. So, yeah, Maguire now pushing so hard that Simracing has lost 2 tenths despite being on softer rubber, though it is 27 laps old now. Will Yerny come in? I'm expecting him to come in soon as he does not do this lap, though. Aerospace surely sets fastest lap, 1:13 dead.
Ragusa's got DRS from Jordan, and they both come in. So they've been fighting with each other, and now they're both into the pits. The Abruzzi car and the Evolution car. That's interesting. That could be a fight that could evolve as the race goes on. I didn't see them fighting before. But yeah, as you say, Gobi and Maguire right together, both pretty quick for those hard tyres. Simracing still absolutely flying on that on those older softs. I wouldn't be surprised if Simracing comes out easily in 3rd position. But anyway, this is great. You don't know where to look, especially with the strategy coming into play. Butcher's now trying to buzz Whitehouse. Of course, Whitehouse still yet to stop, and that's over 16th position. Not particularly important move at this point in time, but he's got it done. Got Mirko Lucchini right in front of him as well. But yeah, we're in terms of Gobi versus Maguire. Gobi seemed to have the advantage before the pit stop, but now it's swung right back to Maguire.
Yeah, Maguire definitely rolling it back in at the moment and chasing the likes of Gobi very hard. In fact, look how close he is now. If he gets a good enough exit here, he could really start to put the pressure on. But the thing is, though, Bok in the pits, so this could be an overcut from Bok. Simracing still out. Still on those soft tyres. He'll be going to lap 30, I imagine, so maybe coming at the end of this lap. But here's the thing. Gobi and Maguire, the longer they fight, the more it benefits Simracing, who's still doing 13.5s. Maguire's last lap was a 13.6. Gobi's a 13.7.
Bok's just gone into mediums, so Bok possibly doing a two-stopper. Either that, or he thinks the mediums can go.
I think he'll be doing some saving early in the stint and taking those mediums to the end.
Yeah, 41 laps on mediums. I think some people could definitely do that. So yeah.
Well, put it this way, Yerny Simracing's done 30 on softs. So.
Well, okay, yeah, you can do. I expect he can do 41 on mediums. We'll see.
I'm expecting to see Yerny in this lap, to be honest. I'm looking for the pit light on that car. And I'm going to see if he does come in this lap or not. But, yep, we will see if he does come in. I'm keeping my beady eyes trained on Yerny Simracing as he comes down the start finish. Yes, Simracing in. We thought this might happen. He's come in after 30 laps on those softs. He's going to switch over to what we believe to be mediums. Gobi has now gotten past a mad cape on the inside. Maguire's lost a couple of tenths in the subsequent slipstream. He's going to get caught behind out of this corner if he's not careful. and he's got to put the hammer down. Maybe want to lift. I think that's Lucas Kreutzer who does. As Jenny Simicic comes out of the pits, Maguire is possibly getting up. Maguire and Gorby will get ahead of Jenny Simicic, but he's on the mediums rather than the soft on the hards, and he's going to be able to keep them going for those 40 laps. Maguire has got Kreutzer between him and Simicic, but Jenny is not out of this race yet. All of a sudden, there is a third contender for the race win, and it's Jenny Simicic for Best Basilia Esports. This could get very interesting very quickly. He's got to get past Kreutzer, and the gap between him and Maguire is currently 2 and a bit seconds. But you never know. With those tyres and with his pace and his tyre saving ability, he could make this work. He's made, according to Tom Parker, 3 seconds on Stefan Ruolt, thanks to that overcut. Imagine what he's going to do to the 2 in the race lead in second place.
So Gobi still leading, but less than a second in it as Maguire is in the slipstream and in the DRS. Simicic third for the time being. He has come out ahead of and Ruhl why has that happened? Ruhl has just let Buck through, I think. No, Buck just had the overspeed, and Ruhl did not want to fight it into the corner. I think he did an Adam Maguire lift there towards the end of the straight. Yes, he did. So Stefan Ruhl there not wanting to go side by side with Buck into the braking zone, and Yannick Buck on the medium tyres has managed to get past Stefan Ruhl, and that is for 4th position in the effective order and 4th overall.
Well, the Fabrizio Gorby brigade has turned into the Simicic squad by the looks of it. Mark saying in the comments that Jenny Simicic is an absolute unit. I do not dispute that fact. Tom Parker, though, with 2 simple comments. Lower wings, softer tyres, big oof incoming. I agree entirely.
Yeah, that's never really never the best combination, but I know that Jenny Simicic can probably make it work. He's one of the best drivers that I've ever had the pleasure of commentating on, and even interviewing once as well. He was a nice interviewee. But anyway, Yannick Buck versus Stefan Ruhl. Over P4 and 5 will be soon dispersing. I think Yannick Buck starting to really get away and try to catch Jenny Simicic. They're on the same tyre compound as well, so that could well be a proper fight, one for position in the finishing order, as well as just on track, as could be the Gobi versus Maguire one still.
This is turning into a very interesting race to approach half distance, isn't it, Caitlin Penny? We thought it was going to be Fabrizio Gorby getting the win. Now we don't know. It's between 3 people.
It really is, especially that's why I love strategic races like this, where you could go for a 1-stop or a 2-stop, and some people can make the hards work, some people can make the mediums work. It really means that it's going to be close. Of course, the difficulty is if you go for a 1-stop on mediums and someone else goes for a 1-stop on hards, you usually have to pass them on track if you are racing on the medium tyres. So Simicic and Buck, if they're going to win this race, they're going to have to actually overtake Maguire and Gobi for position, and of course that's much tougher than jumping someone in the pits. Oh, as Maguire there taps the wall and gets a little bit out of shape. Shouldn't have cost him too much time, maybe a 1/10 of a second. He's still less than half a second of Fabrizio Gobi there, and I think overall that really won't cost him anything at all. Since
well, it hasn't. He's just hit the fastest lap, 12.989.
Wow, he was pushing.
Yeah, but tell you what, so is Simicic, only 200ths off that, and even if his tyres aren't up to temperature yet, he is really quick at the moment.
How do you settle up under 1 minute 13 on hard tyres? That is absolutely ridiculous.
You push like an absolute madman, that's what you do, and that's what he's doing right now. Anna Maguire, he's so close to go, we look, the gap's about half a second.
That is amazing. Maguire absolutely going for it here. And Gobi's last lap as well, that was almost under 1:30. So these two drivers both, they're feeling the pressure, aren't they? I think they both know they can go to the end on these tyres. I think it's probably going to be a bit tighter than they're anticipating, but we'll see. Maguire with the DRS, again less than half a second behind Gobi, and it's all about setting up for the exit here now. We saw that he was very rapid on the exit last time around. DRS open again, still not close enough, still within half a second though. Well, it was almost exactly half a second there, but you get what I'm saying. This is a full-on scrap for the lead of the race. They may not be side by side, but I tell you what, they are both reacting to each other at every single corner.
Speaking of reactions, guess who's just closed up 4/10? Yerny Simracing. Those tyres are in their prime now.
They are, but is he wasting them? We'll see. We'll have to see.
Well, he's the master of tyre conservation. We've already seen that. If anyone's going to be able to manage those tyres to the end, it's Yerny Simracing.
So, Gobi versus McGuire versus Simracing. That is the fight for the race win. Simracing may not be with them right now, but he is in a good shape in this race if he can make those tyres last. Yannick Bock as well could well be on for a podium. Stefan Ruhl still right with him, and don't discount Dennis Jordan or even Giuseppe Ragusa yet. So we're not even halfway through this race. We're approaching, it'll be at the end of this lap, the halfway point. So actually we pretty much are at the halfway point. But you get what I'm saying. Still just as much time to go as we've had gone already. McGuire taps the wall again out of the final corner, and that is how much he's pushing. That is how close to the limit he is. And again, the gap is pretty much exactly half a second. They set pretty much exactly the same lap time on that last lap, and Simracing gained by a 10th.
Here's the thing though, Gobi and McGuire, are they slowing themselves down? Chris Shepherd seems to think that they are, and it's going to be a 3-car train if he keeps up, says Tom Parker. Well, this is definitely turning into an interesting race. Are they going to stop fighting each other and focus on getting away from Simracing? Are they going to fight each other and focus on that and let Simracing close in? They can't win. Either scenario for Adam McGuire's case denies him the win.
This is a tense race. This is a very, very tense race. Tension, of course, one of the best things you can have in a moot race, but not when you're a driver. When you're a driver, it can really start to get on your nerves, and you need to make sure that you hold steady and don't make any silly mistakes. McGuire there, less than 0.4 of a second behind Gobi as they go onto the back straight. That's the closest he's been in a long time. He can get a good run out of the chicane. As he brushes the wall again, he can really start to make Gobi sweat. With the aim of doing exactly what I just said. Simracing there, his last lap was 0.2 of a second faster, so he's still gaining. He's not going to be in with this in this fight in the next lap or so, but I think he's going to be on it by the end of the race if he continues at this pace. Again, tyres are really the word of the day. Alex Cooper now in the pits on his medium tyres. That's actually his first pit stop, so he's made them last for a long time, 35 laps. And I think that very much shows that the drivers who have to run 41 laps on mediums with lighter fuel can very much do it.
He's gone for another set of mediums as well. Did Cooper start on the medium tyres, Caitlin Penny? That's what I'm wondering.
Pretty sure he did.
Because if he did, he's got to stop again. You have to use 2 compounds of tyres in a Superleague race.
Because your game has not loaded in the tyres yet. They're actually hard.
Oh, well, in that case, they're hard then. Fair enough. Well, come on, RF2. Load the godforsaken tyres already. That's what I want to say.
The same thing happened to me at the start of the race. For me, all of the leaders were starting on hard tyres, which very much did not happen. But anyway, Gobi and McGuire again across the lane. And again, it's less than 0.4 of a second. They are locking horns.
Yeah, race we're reporting hard, so I'm going to go with that. Of course, race you coded by Stefan Ruhl, actually, who is currently in P5 and holding a very nice gap. It must be said to Yannick Bock. He's keeping up nicely here. And consider that Bock is on a compound that is softer than Ruhl. He's just at the fastest lap, for goodness sake.
Oh, yeah, my goodness. Again, less than 113 on hard tyres there for Stefan Ruhl. And that is, I'm jealous. Then again, both of them were under 113 on that last lap. They were both in the 112.9s. And
Florian Gaia has lost his front wing again. I've just seen that. As Gaia was coming round, it was out of turn 2, out of turn 3. Oh, it was the same place as Daniel Brewer. Dropped the back. He hit the barrier though, lost his front wing.
That's a very similar accident to the one that Brewer had. Brewer hit it rear first, but of course the accident, they started in the same way and they culminated in a similar way as well, because even though Gaia is not technically out of the race, he's effectively out of the race, and yeah, he's already a lap down, he's already last, now he's running without a front wing. That's, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he retires the car here, sadly.
Gap from Maguire to Simoncic is now 2 seconds, and he's reining in Maguire and Golby at a rate of about 0.2 a lap. And I want to posit something to you here, Caitlin Penny. 110 times 30 laps is 3 seconds. I think he's going to be on these two by the last 10 laps of this race if he keeps this up.
It is, but yeah, it is, but of course it's one thing to pass a driver, or one thing to catch a driver, and another thing to pass them. Because you've got all that turbulent air, you've got the pressure as well, and also you have the difficulty of passing a moving object, moving object that doesn't want to be passed. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think it's doable, but he may need a mistake from Gobby and Maguire. But Gobby and Maguire, as I've been saying, holding each other up by fighting. Maguire will be a little bit frustrated on the tail of Gobby here. Gobby will be looking in his mirrors and possibly getting a bit antsy and nervous. And 0.6 of a second that lap time around, so not quite as close as we've seen them, but feels crazy to say that's not quite as close, because that is that's a pretty tight scrap still.
Yeah, Yanni Simoncic closing in nicely. 2 seconds, as we said, between Maguire and Simoncic. Golby and Maguire still fighting it out, about 0.6 between those two. So Maguire keeping the pressure on nicely, but as we said, even if Simracing catches up, he's got to get through. So that's the kicker, really, as this race continues. I'm watching Jordan and Ragusa here, because Giuseppe Ragusa and the other Abruzzi is P7 and keeping up nicely with Jordan. So that's both Evolutions holding someone off. Box holding off Rualt, Jordan's holding off Ragusa.
So back onto the straight again. 0.4 of a second separating the leaders. DRS will open for Maguire, though Gobby got a better exit to the chicane that time, or the hairpin that time around. So I don't think there's going to be a move this time down the straight. Maguire, though, sticking with him, not quite taking as much of a slipstream as he could. I think he's just trying to spot the braking zone there. But anyway, out onto another DRS straight. Simoncic still gaining behind them, and Simoncic's last lap was it's a 1:13.1, so that is about 0.2 of a second gained. That is really quite something there for Simoncic, who's still pushing as Buck and Royal continue to scrap behind them. They're within half a second too, so that is another proper scrap. As is Jordan versus Ragusa. Germano Zappola now into the pits as Zapata. And that is that his first pit stop? Yeah, he started on mediums, and he'll be going on to soft. So going to the end without using the harder compounded tire at all, and that's basically the opposite strategy to the one that we just saw from. I can't remember who it was now, but anyway, Germano Zappola exiting the pits. And he, I think, even though he's down in 19th, I think he's still probably on for points today, the way this is going.
Yeah, indeed, and well, we'll see how that pans out as this race continues. And well, I'm just keeping eyes up and down the grid. Florian Gaia's race has gone from bad to race. He's 2 laps down now, on lap 38, down on the likes of Golby and Maguire. And well, a word for Florian Gaia. It is such a shame to see him so far down the order, because go back to 2016, he was right up there. He was on it. He was absolutely on fire. His career seems to have collapsed in about 2018, to be honest. I mean, even back in 2017, he was up there with Northern Racing. Absolutely on fire. But it just hasn't gone well in the last few years for him. And, well, whatever's going wrong for him, hopefully he can find it out, because he's a very talented driver. You cannot deny that. He just has not gone his way these last couple of years.
In fact, Josh, the first Superleague race that I ever covered was Abu Dhabi 2017. I was alongside you, and Florian Gaia actually won that race for Nordian, and that was his last win. He hasn't won since. In fact, he hasn't even stood on the podium since. And his best result of this season so far has been 17th place. So props to him for continuing. Props to him for not giving up and for not retiring from this race or from the league. Although, to be honest, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to give it up and save the engine. He's probably still hoping for more attrition to take place, but it's this late in the race. We're at 60% of the way in, He may just want to continue for pride, and to be honest, that is an admirable thing to do. So, anyway, let's leave him alone and look back at the front.
Yeah, I think probably the best thing we can do at the moment is look at the ever decreasing. Well, actually, I say ever decreasing. It's 2.1 seconds now between Maguire and Simracing, so the gap is holding. He needs to find time though, does he? If he wants to make this work.
Yeah, 7 tenths per second between Gobi and Maguire on that last lap, and I still think it's very much not over yet, because well, 7 tenths is it's less than a second. You're still in the DRS range, and of course your opponent just needs to make one mistake, and bye-bye, you're through. But anyway, it's 6 tenths now as they head onto the straight, so this isn't an overtaking opportunity. Normally you need to be within 3.5 tenths for an overtaking opportunity to present itself on this straight. But anyway, Maguire still sticking with Gobi, just not quite attacking, not quite pressuring him as much as he was before, and again brushes the wall out of that final chicane. That's interesting because Maguire appears to do that probably every other lap, and I don't think I've seen Gobi do it at all yet.
Yeah, I mean, Gobi has really been pushing hard at the front there to keep Maguire behind, and well, Maguire's been pushing to keep Gobi in his sights, so it's really kind of the status quo being maintained at the front as it stands. But you've got the likes of Ruolt and Ragusa pushing for positions too, but we haven't really seen them go for it yet. I mean, maybe if the pace difference increases, that's what they're going to need, but we'll see how this goes. As well, Gaia's come into the pits. Florian Gaia has come into the pits. I think he's given it up. Yep, did not finish the race. Gaia, I think, is just about had enough. Who can blame him, though, to be honest? It's been a terrible race for him, and, well, that is the sad end of the race for Florian Gaia, and well, I do hope that he can find some pace as the rest of this season goes on, because he certainly deserves a good race. He has not had one in so long.
That is sad, yeah. Of course, that's not the kind of performance we expect from a 4-time GPVWC Super League winner. Of course, his best result in the championship was 3rd in 2016. But anyway, this year it looks as if he's going to struggle to score points at all. So yeah, hopefully he gets together and finds what's been missing. His teammate Alex Cooper is currently in 16th position in the other Street Fighter Racing Systems car, actually challenging double world champion David Fiduk for P15. Fiduk's another driver whose career kind of went from brilliant to a little bit mediocre, although really I think no one denies that Fiduk has potential and has pace when he gets the time to practice and when he gets a good car. But anyway, currently holding P15. Matthew Williams now coming in on medium tyres, and has he really managed to make it this far on them? Yes, he has. That's 43 laps, so that's pretty long there from Matthew Williams. But a good opening stint, very long on the mediums, and hasn't quite kept him in points scoring position, but he's going to come out right in the battle that will. Oh, and slight contact with Zappala, and they get away with it. I thought he was going round then, because that is not. And Raw and Simracing has crashed.
Oh my word! You're right, Kevin Penny. Simracing is gone. Gerrit Simracing is in an absolute crisis on track. What on earth has happened? Oh, he touched the inside wall! He touched the inside wall! He hit it! He goes round and round again, and he is out of the race! Gerrit Simracing has blown it on lap 45! Oh my word! Gerrit, that is not what you wanted to do, my friend! You've blown your race wide open! Oh, Gerrit, that is a disaster, and he will be kicking himself for that.
A race contender has just crashed in a straight line. I've never seen anything like that. He's flipped the car as well, and it's out of the race. And that is one of the strangest crashes you will ever see from a world champion sim racer. I don't believe what I've just seen.
I am in disbelief. He just came too far inside of the corner. Almost, Gobi almost followed him actually there. And, well, Adam Maguire, he has got no reason whatsoever now to back off. He can go full throttle. He can attack Gobi now. He does not have to worry about Simracing fighting against them now. Gobi, this is actually the worst thing for Gobi, because it's opened Maguire up. He's going to get absolutely Maguired now, and there's nothing he can do to stop it.
Wow! And now the fight for the lead's back on. They're back within 0.4 of a second there. Oh my goodness.
That's a response. That is a direct response. Menno Klon will be saying, Simitich is out. Push, push, push. And that's exactly what he's doing.
Meanwhile, we said that the battle for the low points paying positions is back on. Williams has managed to get himself into those points now. He's just passed David Fidok. Zappel is now being passed by Cooper in a straight line. Has to back out of it because Zappel has fresher tyres and had the line there, and he actually just passed Cooper before that. So that's a scrap going on. They now have more points than they would do before, of course. After being contact between Butcher and Masculi. Butcher gets all sorts of out of shape. Kilk is going to go onto the grass to avoid him, and not quite able to get through there. But yeah, this is over 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, blah blah blah. I can't believe how exciting this race has been so far. We've had the scrap lead all the way through between Gobi and Maguire. And what's happening now to... I think... So, did someone just pit from the lead? No, that's... Well, something just changed up in front. Unless my screen just glitched.
I'm not sure what that was. I'll have to keep an eye on it, but definitely happening at the moment. Apparently it was Dennis Jordan and Ragusa may have briefly swapped position and gone back again. I'm not sure, but Bach and Ruol fighting up for P34. Mike Bell saying Bach is the only one in the top 4 in the mediums. Ruolt and Bach will catch the top 2 before the end. Bold prediction, Mike Bell. Let's see if it comes true.
Anyway, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Another change in the top 15, I think. Nope. Wow, my screen's really telling me all sorts of nonsense at the minute. Well, there was a change. I think. Okay. I'm kind of confused. But anyway, sorry for the confusion. Whatever's going on, I think it was. Okay, never mind. I'm just making a fool of myself. Maguire still in slipstreaming range of Gobi. They are still separated by less than a tenth. Although that wasn't a good run out of the corner there from Maguire. Again, got slightly into the wall of champions, and we know that he has the potential to be a champion, but only if he keeps delivering performances like this. Fabrizio Gobi, of course, he is not yet a champion. He has not even won a Super League race yet. He's on for his first victory if he's able to finish it like this. He's racing for the Abruzzi esports team that has evolved from what was ACR Zach Speed, which itself evolved from what was Vodbull Racing. And of course, all 3 of those teams have seen success. Abruzzi, of course, the newest team, yet to see championship winning success, but definitely still with a lot. And has I know where the confusion's happening. It's because Dennis Jordan, for some reason, keeps disappearing off my timing screen and then reappearing.
He may just have missed a couple of timing beams, perhaps. That might be what it is, yeah. But Jordan's still very much in front of Ragusa as it stands. As the 2 fight each other out. Ruold has actually cleared him entirely at this point. He is Bach may have missed the timing beam too, so there's a couple of problems with the timing beams for a couple of drivers, but that will sort itself out as the race continues. So a bit of a minor inconvenience, but nothing to really be worried about, I think, as Anna Maguire has dropped off Fabrizio Gobi, so maybe pushing those tyres has not worked out for him.
Yeah, I just wish it wouldn't keep showing moves that aren't happening, but anyway.
Masciuli! We lost Thomas Masciuli, I think.
Yeah, I don't see him, so I think Masciuli may have just disconnected there. He wasn't running in the points anyway, but he will still be frustrated with that. Unless he somehow pings back into existence. No, he's out. So that is the end of the day for one of the 2 Adonis Engineering cars.
Yep, definitely a couple of cars missing timing teams, but yep, indeed, Masciuli's out. That looks like a disconnect from where we're sitting. David Feidig has come into the pits meanwhile. He is on the soft tyres now. These will go to the end, I imagine. And yeah, Feidig just going to go for one last push on the soft as Jamona Zapala, P13. Oh, had a bit of a close run with Lucky Williams there.
He did indeed. I was watching that intently, and they both did well to keep it out of the wall there. It was almost a Vettel-Hamilton moment. Not that they ended up in the wall, but you get what I'm saying. Close calls all around. 12th and 13th they're fighting for. They are just behind Chris Butcher and Riot Kilk. Also involved in that battle recently was David Fidok, although he's just made a pit stop. That's actually his second pit stop of the day, so I was right to say that some drivers are going for two stoppers, although I don't think it's going to end up working very well for David Fidok. He's currently a lap down, and I don't think he's actually going to be scoring points today. I hope he proves me wrong, but anyway. But yeah, still this fight over 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. The closest fight, although still some of the most prominent, are happening up in front.
Yeah, still, obviously, the big fight's going on at the front. Obviously, Gobi and Maguire still trying to find out. Maguire's starting to make time back, actually, which is brilliant, brilliant news. Bok, Rualt, Jordan, Ragusa, all pushing hard too. Moose is down in 7th place and giving it the beans as well. So a lot of drivers giving it really a good push now to try and go for the top 2 and go for closing up on the other drivers around them. I'm looking at Yannick Bok, who's now about 4 seconds off Adam Maguire, so maybe Mike Bell's prediction is going to come true, but Stefan Ruhl's close as well.
So, Gobi leading from Maguire. We're now 3/4 of the way into the race, pretty much. It's Bok third, fighting with Stefan Ruhl. Dennis Jordan is P5. Seppi Ragusa right on his tail as well, still in the DRS. We haven't spoken about Ragusa so far today that much, although the other Brutzi car delivering a pretty strong performance. Matthias Moose is P7, Lauren Kiersmakes is P8, then it's Winnick. Butcher's in, so Butcher was fighting, he was running 10th and fighting with Kilk, Williams and Zappala, but he is going to be making a stop in that red arrow. That will be for soft tyres. And Williams now side by side with Kilk for 10th. Kilk on the outside, and Williams goes through for 10th.
Yep, Williams on the inside into P10 then as Chris Butcher comes out of the pits on the medium tyres. He'll be going to the end then as well. If anyone's going to be stopping, it's going to be now, really, for one last set of tyres and a big sprint to the end. You got to feel at this point as Maguire's out to half a second again on Gobi. Here we go again then.
Here we go again. Goodness me, DRS opening very soon. That's the wrong chicane they're heading up to, but yeah, it'll be the one after the next one. But yeah, Gobi versus Maguire looks as if it may go right the way to the flag. How are the tyres looking? Have they calculated the fuel rate? And how are they feeling as well? Are they tired out? Are they frustrated? Maybe. I'm sure we are about to find out in these late stages of the race. All Maguire needs to do, really, or the most important thing he needs to do, is make sure that he doesn't end up doing something silly, like a last lap lunge that takes them both off. That would give Yannick Bok the win, and that would not be good for his championship contention. So if Adam Maguire is wise, he will go for the win, but won't go for anything truly silly. He knows he's leading the championship. He knows that he's got more to lose than any other driver on this grid. And he knows that Gobi's got pretty much nothing to lose since he is not a championship contender. So I think Gobi's in the better situation here, both psychologically and on the road. But Maguire, of course, is more experienced and won't want to give up a win that easily.
Yeah, he's not going to give up. I don't think anyone's really going to give up at this point with 76% of the race gone, 25% to go, there or thereabouts. Bok is not going to give up defending from Rualt. And I don't think Gobi's going to give up defending from Maguire either. This is really going to go down to the wire, this one. As Matthew Williams, I'm watching, keeping an eye on, is still trying to hold this P10 that he's got. Giovanni Zapala's P11. Great result from him so far. And then you got the likes of Kiersmak as Mr. Ragusa as well. But really, all eyes on the top 2.
Zapala just rubbed his way past Kilk. They banged wheels once, twice, 3 times. And now Kilk's coming under attack from Panzer. That's for P12, of course. Panzer, I think, made his stop more recently than all of these drivers, and he's also on the softer tyres. So I think this should be relatively easy for Panzer, but of course it's never easy in Superleague, and all of these drivers will be fighting for every position that they can get. Talking of that, Gobi and Maguire, 0.3 of a second in the second sector, 0.6 across the line, but still, that's pretty hecking close. And Bok and Ruhl showing himself to Bok's mirrors. This is a full-on battle of wits here between Buck and Raw over third place.
Yeah, but you got to think, the longer these two fights, the more chance they have of not catching Maguire and Gobi. So Ruot, effectively by fighting Buck, is consolidating, well, conceding the top two and going for the podium. I mean, he got fourth in Azerbaijan, wants to go one better here, but another fourth would not be bad for him.
I think that's really wise, actually. If I was Ruot, I would definitely be fighting for third place. I think 5 seconds is tough to gain at the best of time, or 4.5 as it is. But when you're trying to chase Gobi and Maguire, it's pretty tough, especially in just 16 laps. So I think, I think Ruot's wise to be attacking Buck right now, and the quicker he can get past him, the better for him and his nerves. Chris Butcher there getting past Sandeep Singh. That's over 17th position. And Butcher trying to get himself back into the points. I think he can still do it. A couple of cars ahead of him on much older tyres, so I think it's still doable for Chris Butcher, although this isn't the sort of race that he would necessarily have wanted. And the driver he just passed there, who is Sandeep Singh, actually making his return to GPVWC Superleague for the Cosmo YTF1 team.
Yeah, Sandeep's been in for a couple of races now, but he's definitely doing all right. He is. He's not exactly the highest placed driver of them all, no, but he's doing a good job, and that's what he needs to do. He's just keeping a solid performance, and he's really making a case for himself. So good job on Sandeep, indeed. You know, you got to hand him that. I mean, if anyone's going to come out of this as the potential driver of the day, you got to think in the moment it's Fabrizio Gobi, who is coming up, actually. Speaking of Sandeep Singh, up to him now. Still at him.
I mean, yeah, Fabrizio Gobi, this is going to be his first victory if he can bring it home. It's close with Maguire, but it would be a fantastic win, even if that was anyone else, since they would have had to fight hard with Maguire all the way through, hold off the championship leader. And, well, it goes without saying that that's never an easy task. And for Fabrizio Gobi, who, I mean, not many people actually knew who he was before this series. I certainly don't know anything else he's done. Yeah, hugely impressive to see him leading a Super League race, and he broke Maguire's DRS. Look at that, 1 second as they crossed the start-finish line that last time around.
That might not have been helped by some traffic. They came across David Feidig first, and now Maguire's going to get past Singh, who's going to have blue flags waving all around him, as he really should be considering moving over, and he does. There you go, moves over nicely. Maguire's going to go through, but the gap is now a lot bigger than it was before.
Now Maguire did get the DRS from Singh that last time around, and that could just be the kiss of life that he needs to keep himself within that second buffer. But we'll see. Does he have DRS as they exit the hairpin? I think he will.
I think he should. I think it was just in it. For about 9/10 in it, I think there was. Maguire should get he does get the DRS, so he'll get a bit of an advantage back on Gobi. As they come under the bridge, there's not really much in it at all, only 2 kilometers an hour.
There is indeed fights going on outside of the points as well, but yeah, it's very, very close. And again, he's outside of the DRS range, and that's over a 10th now. That's over a 10th out of the DRS range. They have traffic coming up soon, and Maguire will have to rely on that traffic holding up Fabrizio Gobi. But this is looking bad for Maguire and brilliant for Gobi. It looks to me as if Gobi has finally started to pull away, to break that toe, to break that DRS. And Maguire now is in a very tough situation where he needs to put the pedal down and catch up again, unless he is okay with finishing second. But yeah, he's out of the DRS, doesn't open the DRS in the first of 3 DRS zones, and I don't think he'll get it for the second either. This is a disaster.
Well, with a bit of luck, he might, because he was 1.0. Now it's 1.1 as the end of the second sector, so unless he really dives it here, he may not get it. I don't know whether he has actually got it there. Maybe this is Gobi's to win now. Maybe Maguire's strategy has not worked and he's got the DRS. No, he hasn't got the DRS. This might be Gobi's to win.
Fantastic from Gobi, fantastic. Meanwhile, Fidok and Singh fighting over 18th place. I've been watching them out of the corner of my eye for the last couple of corners, and Fidok.
Well, they're coming up the block. The box coming up as well, so Sandeep just goes straight over. No questions asked from Sandeep Singh there. But yeah, look at the gap now. David Fidik's on an absolute charge. He's up in the P18. Not the best race from him. Hasn't really been a very easy couple of seasons either for the 2-time world champion. Kind of, you know, in line with what his former teammate Florian Gaius had. And, well, maybe it was just the partnership of Geyer and Vidic that was really successful. And I mean, a lot of talent has come into Super League these last couple of years, and they have both struggled. But you know, maybe they should get back together again. Who knows? I think it would be good to see.
Who knows?
In the future,
Anyway.
of course. I mean, Chris Butcher's doing a fantastic job at the moment in P17 for Red Arrow as well. So there's absolutely no reason why he would have to move out of the way, so to speak, for Guy to come back in this season. But maybe in the future, maybe for 2021.
That means, of course, that Buck versus Raw is now the closest fight in the top 10. They are fighting hard, and they've got David Fidok coming up ahead of them as well. And Fidok, not willing to give way, doesn't have the blue flags yet, so he's not obliged to. But yeah, still ahead of them, and we'll see if he is able to get out of the way in a safe space. Still no blue flags. And as they cross the line this time around, Buck and Raw are separated by just 0.2 of a second. So Raw launching a late challenge. We now are on lap 60, so just 10 laps to go after this one until the end of the race. Only 1/7 of the race still to go, obviously, and it's still anyone's game for P3. Well, when I say anyone's game, I mean Buck versus Raw, but you know what I mean. And Jordan versus Ragosa still extremely close over 5th and 6th as well.
Yeah, some close battles going on here, still in Canada. Ruold Buck could be really a good one for the podium, but Ruold goes deep inside. Ruold has gone a little bit too far, and now he's lost some time there. That could hurt him.
It could, not too much though. But he possibly would have had to back off there to make sure he wasn't reported for that after the race. But anyway, Stefan Rohr, of course, in the Holland Racing team car, and the HRT. It's not a particularly upgraded car. It's about 6th in terms of the amount of upgrade points they've put in. Of course, top of that list is Red Archer. Currently running with Matthias Moose in P7 and Riot Kilk in P13. And actually, I should say that the Magcape drivers are doing a pretty good job today to be running. Were running pretty well earlier on. Of course, Fabio Sixter retired on the opening lap after doing a fairly good qualifying performance. And the other Magcape, of course, Lucas Kreutzer got involved in incidents in the early stages as well, but they qualified fairly well. And actually, they are the least upgraded car on the grid, just behind the flag-to-flag cars as well, who are having a slightly better race with Williams inside the top 10.
Yeah, Williams having a good race as it stands for flag to flag. Really what he wanted, I think, this race. And well, matching Linek, Lauren Kismek is also having good races. Matthias Moose having a great race in P7 for Red Archer, obviously, as you rightly said, strongest car on the grid statistically. But obviously, the driver comes into it a lot as well. And Matthias Moose, as good a driver he is, has not been able to overhaul the likes of Maguire, Bott and Gobi this race. So maybe we'll see him a bit further up in future races. But Giuseppe Ragusa still fighting Dennis Jordan here very nicely, and Stefan Ruolt defending, well, trying to attack Yannick Bock, who's defending brilliantly. Maguire and Gobi are about 1.9 seconds in now, and with 61 done, with 8 to go, well, 9 to go rather, Gobi really, he's got to keep on his toes, but he's on course for the win.
Of course, it also matters what you put your upgrade points into, which is another fantastic thing about this system. It's that you can put all the points you like into one thing, such as, say, downforce or whatever, and rear wing and maybe diffuser as well. But if you get to a circuit like Monza and someone else has decreased the drag and the weight, they're going to smoke you. So yeah, really, it only says a certain amount, looking at who's put the most upgrade points in and which car is theoretically the best, because races aren't won on paper.
They aren't one on paper, they're one on tarmac. That's what they're one on. Ultimately, it is the surface of victory, and Fabrizio Gobi cruising to victory as it stands, although Maguire did take 2 tenths out of him on the previous lap, so we'll be watching the gap to see if it's changed this lap. Oh, it's gone up. Yep.
Buck there got a bad exit to the chicane, and he's going defensive. He's going defensive from Roll. He saw that Roll might launch an attack there, and Roll, in the end, thought better of it. And I don't think he would have thought better of it if Buck hadn't reacted to him. So that was a good warning defense signal from Buck there. But yeah, he needs to make sure he doesn't make too many mistakes like that. He tagged the wall, tagged the grass coming out of the final corner. Actually, I think they're dropping back from David Fidok there, so it may end up being that Fidok doesn't end up holding them up at all. Fidok really pushing in these late stages on those softer tyres, which would make sense really. But Buck versus Raw still very much on, and Raw got a much better exit than Buck out of that chicane there, and he's going to be right on top of him as they head towards the straight.
Yep, he's going to be right on top as they come throughout the straight. I mean, Stefan Ruhl, best chance here, but Buck is getting. That's the thing. If the likes of Buck are getting good enough exits, backing up the likes of Ruhl out the exit of that chicane, he's going to have the better drive and stop Ruhl from attacking at the end of it. That's the thing. So Buck just has to slow Ruhl down, get a good exit, and he's got the place.
Yeah, but that wasn't a good exit. Look at that. That wasn't a good exit.
Look at Stefan. He's gonna. Well, he's gonna. He is gonna try and sneak him.
And if he can keep it there.
No!
Oh,
wow, Buck shut the door. Buck just shut the door, slammed it in his face there.
But I think it was fair.
Yeah.
You know, no harm, no foul. But Raw there would have lost a bit of time for all of that. But yeah, he's getting a bit desperate there. Tried to hold it around the outside of turn 1. Of course, if he could have kept it there, he could have gone through on the inside of turn 2. It's the opposite direction. And it's a long corner too, but you really need to be a long way alongside your opponent through turn 1. Otherwise, of course, they're going to shut the door on you like that. And both of them did well not to come together there as well. But yeah, that's the first proper attack that we've seen Raw have in a long time. Oh, and he slithered a bit wide at the hairpin. I think Buck's going to get a better exit than him there. But still, they are so close. And it's the final chicane where Buck gets a poor exit. Raw knows he's strong there, but by this point, Buck knows that Raw's strong there as well, and he knows to go fully defensive into turn 1.
There's only about 15 kilometers in them. 15 kilometers an hour between them at the end of this straight, but that is a good exit from Buck out of the final chicane. Ruhl is not going to be able to make anything happen here unless he absolutely throws it down the inside. Nothing has happened, obviously. He was just way too far away at the end of it.
He was, and the gap was less than 0.2 of a second. So this is the fight in the late stages. Gobby versus Maguire. That's over 2.3 seconds now. So Gobby really pulling away into the lead. And Maguire has nothing for him. So that battle is over unless there's, I'm touching wood as I say that, unless there's something like a back marker or or maybe tyres going off or whatever. But anyway, I reckon...
I tell you what, Caitlin Penny, I've just seen something amazing. This is important news right here. Guess who's just hit the fastest lap? Sandeep Singh! He's done a 1:12.4.
Wow, Sandeep Singh.
Go on, Sandeep.
A lap down on fresher tyres, has nothing to lose. Yeah, he's going for it. He is.
That is maximum Dennis Jordan strats right there. But Dennis Jordan, I don't think with P5 on the table, will do the Dennis Jordan strats. So maybe it'll be the fastest lap of the race. Who knows?
1:12.4 too. My goodness. You get extra in-game money for fastest lap.
I think there is a bit of money here, so there'll be a bit of money going to YBF1 for that.
Jolly good. Well done to Sandeep Singh, unless someone else can beat him. But still, that's a pretty good lap. But yeah, as we say, he's a lap down. He's out of the points. He's got nothing to lose. So all he really can do at the minute is go for it. With all due respect to him. But anyway, yeah, gap for the lead, 2 seconds coming into the last 5 laps of the race. Gap for third and fourth, well, it's less than 3, so much less there. Gap for 5th and 6th, less than 2. My goodness, we've got fights all over these top 6 cars.
Oh, it could all heat up in the middle. It could heat up at the end of this race. Tom Pocketmiley says $1 million for fastest lap, so let's hope Sandeep can hold it. And yeah, Ragusa so close to Jordan. Ruhl starting to close in on Buck. We can see some fights for 3rd and 5th at the end of this race in the last 5. We're on lap 66 now, of course, 5 to go. And this could get very interesting. It's about to become 4 to go as Ruhl continues to fight. Ragusa on the inside of Jordan into the final chicane. Contact between the two. Ragusa gets ahead though. Giuseppe Ragusa gets ahead of Jordan after some contact. Jordan will try and swing it back round, but Ragusa holds the inside. And a top 5 for Giuseppe Ragusa. Car 5 in P5. Now on for Abruzzi.
That was fair from Ragusa. Absolutely fair from Ragusa. No harm there. No foul there from either driver. Ragusa has got through, and now Dennis Jordan he's already started to drop back, I think. Ragusa has the top 5, and I think that's his first top 5 of the season. I'll just double check that so I'm not saying anything wrong. But yeah, fantastic move from Giuseppe. Set it up well going onto the straight, and unless Jordan can come back at him with the DRS, that's done and dusted there from Giuseppe.
Indeed, yes, and well, Ragusa, that looks like to be done and dusted as well. Rual just does not seem to be catching Bok quickly enough. We've got fights at the back as well, which Bok is coming up to, so that may balk him a little bit if they don't get out of the way quickly enough. I suspect they will. Yep, that's a green stripes, and that might be Mirko Lagini in and amongst all there. But yeah, Rual, look how close Rual is. He's close right up. Bok is obviously not. He's focusing on the cars ahead there. He is not, man. And Rual is just. He's just there. This is for the podium, remember.
And look at the traffic. There's 2 cars there. They're already passing one. And that gave Bok a better line through the chicane. Rual there's going to be losing 2 tenths on the exit. But we've got some more traffic coming up. So actually, that's Fidok. So Fidok's still pushing on those softer tyres. But yeah, Bok versus Rual almost kicked off into turn 1 there. Rual almost tried to go around the outside of him. Then I was wondering whether he'd go for a switchback, but wasn't able to get the enough traction on the exit. But Rual obviously faster at this point in the race, going for Bok.
Speaking of races, the race for the fastest laps heated up. Sings up these games. He's done a 12.388. He is determined to have this because Matthew Williams has done a 12.511. So these two are fighting for the fastest lap. We've got the likes of Rual and Bok fighting for the podium. Ragusa and Jordan fought briefly for P5, and Giuseppe Ragusa has come out on top in that fight. But Bok and Rual, the real fight at the moment, as Matthew Williams has a purple sector 1.
Yeah, and Butcher, I think, he's recently set a 112.4 as well, so that almost put him to fast lap. Yeah, that was about 7 laps ago. But anyway, fight for fastest lap still going on. I think Sandeep Singh might get that, although still a few laps to go. He's actually got good slipstream here from another driver coming down towards the final chicane. And while that's all going on, Bok is still having to defend hard from Rual. And now they have another back marker coming up. It's not just Fidok, he's got a car right in front of him as well. Actually getting blue flags from Fidok and dropping back. And that's going to, and that will be Lucas Kreitzer. So hopefully he gets out of the way quickly. But if not, at least it'll spice up this fight for third. Goodness me. And it will do. Look at that, because Bok has got he's got a bit of a twitch on midway through that corner, and wasn't able to get past Kreitzer before it. Now Kreitzer's going to get out of the way, but they're both getting his slipstream. And well, there's not going to be a move here from Rual, but that was pretty hairy, pretty close. And now on the exit of the chicane, Rual gets the slipstream again.
This could be chance
again. We're heading on to the final lap of the race here, so this may be his last chance. And nothing doing in stand 1, but look how wide Bok's going. Can Rual gets the switch back on the exit? I don't think so, but that was almost a change for third as Bok slithered wide.
This is it then, last lap of the race, last chance for Rual to take the podium, last chance for anyone to take any last minute moves that they want to make happen, and well, that might be going on for P3 and 4. Matthew Williams had a really good first start to his previous lap, but he's made an absolute nightmare of the next. Although he's on it again, if he does not get a good fastest sector, he will not get fastest lap. But we are keeping an eye on that P3, P4 battle. Rual and Bok both fighting it out. Really, Rual's best chance is this hairpin on the final chicane, and he's not going to go through on this hairpin. But, ladies and gentlemen, we must focus briefly on the front runners, as coming into the final chicane now is Fabrizio Gobi. He's had a stunning race. He took pole position, and in his 6th Superleague start, it's gonna be Forza Fabrizio who wins in Canada. Adam Maguire comes home second, a valiant second, and it will be Bok from Rual who denies the Dutchman a third place, and the reigning champion comes home on the podium. Giuseppe Ragusa finishes P5 for a 1-5 for Abruzzi Esports. Dennis Jordan finishes 6th, Matthias Moose 7th. Kears Mackers will finish 8th from Lineck, from Williams by the looks of it, unless Lineck drops position. And Matthew Williams, we are watching as well to see if he can set the fastest lap, though Sandeep Singh has improved again.
What? Oh, and Chris Butcher's run out of fuel on the last lap, so he's not going to. Actually, no, he will claim the final point because everyone else has already finished. So Butcher running out of fuel, but will still claim a point. Winnick will be P9, followed by Matthew Williams. Actually, that was pretty close. Zappala. Oh, Kilk and Panzer! Kilk and Panzer are coming together in the final
my
corner.
word!
Kilk just hold P12.
That was absolutely immense racing there, right at the end of it as well. And, well, yeah, it was Robin Panzer who got the run. He lunged down the inside. Kilk just turned in a bit, unfortunately, and hit Panzer. I think there might be words had about that one. But Fabrizio Gobi, Forza Fabrizio, he has taken in his 6th Super League start his first victory. And that is what he's been craving since the start of the season. Fantastic!
Absolutely, and what a day for Abruzzi Esports. They were only 7th in the championship coming into this round, but they have jumped well up the order with that. Well done to Giuseppe Ragusa for that late overtake on Dennis Jordan. He held him off to the line as well for P5, and well done especially to Fabrizio Gobi in his first season of GPVWC Super League. He is a GPVWC Super League race Grand Prix winner. So Fabrizio Gobi joins that elite club of winners. Adam Maguire only 1.2 seconds back at the end. And I think Gobi, not sure if he's run out of fuel on the in-lap or whether he's just taking it slowly. But anyway, what a victory. Nice helmet too. Reminds me of, it's almost like Shona Lacey across with Michael Schumacher. But anyway, looks great within that Abruzzi Esports car that has emerged victorious from a tight and exciting race. And that is exactly what I want from GPVWC Super League. Fights to the end for the podium places, and the leaders separated by as much as about a cigarette paper pretty much all the way through the race.
Of course, we don't condone smoking, but it was very, very closely run indeed. And, well, Sandeep Singh did come out with the fastest lap in the end, a 1:12.3, and YTF1 Cosmo do get the fastest lap. And points for Jimano Zapala as well, a fantastic P11 finish. And Chris Butcher actually blew his engine. He didn't run out of fuel. His engine gave up on the final lap, but he still claims the final point. So great point grid for Chris Butcher. Just a brilliant race, really.
Absolutely. My driver of the day has to be Fabrizio Gobi for winning his very first GPVWC Super League race. Although Maguire raced him hard, Block and Raw raced hard, there are so many contenders for that prize as well. This was a true test of driver skill and ability. Well done to everyone who finished as well. We had 20 cars classified. Of course, Butcher did not cross the line, but we had 20 cars classified. Disappointing for all of the drivers who DNF'd. Aris Miskuli, of course, retired after his accident. Yone Simoncic crashed in a straight line, most bizarre accident I've ever seen from a driver of his caliber. Florian Gaia retired after several incidents. Daniel Brewer retired after spinning into the wall, and then we had that starting pilot that claimed Fabio Sixter. The long-awaited return of Augustin Canapino as well ended with drama, and Luke Maguire didn't even make it half a lap. So gutting for all of those drivers. And but what a race up in front. My goodness, Josh.
Wow, what a race indeed. And we're hoping to get interviews with our top 3 and possibly even race manager winner Mike Pittman as well, as we wait for the interviewees to file into the interview room. And well, this is absolutely brilliant. I mean, it was a great race. Sandeep Singh celebrating his fastest lap too, and rightfully so. But we'll see if we can get anyone in for the interview. But of course, brilliant race from Fabrizio Gobi. That's going to keep him in the hunt for the top echelons positions in the championship. But Adam Maguire, though, second place, you can't take that away from him. That was a good result.
Of course, and he beat his main championship rivals, so that doesn't just keep his championship lead alive, it extends it as well, which is all he could have hoped for.
And in fact, we do have our first interviewee, and it's none other than Adam Maguire, our second placer, who I'm sure will be joining us in just a couple of seconds' time as he's brought into the broadcast room to talk to us about the fantastic race that he has had today. Adam, well done on your second place. And, well, you will be a bit gutted, I think, that you didn't get the win, but you did talk to me before the race and said, if you're wondering why I'm slow, it's because I haven't done any laps due to university. But still, second place, commendable result.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I could have done any better than that. Gobby's pace was just phenomenal today. And I think I might have made a wrong setup choice with wings. Couldn't get past them at all on the back straight.
Yeah, we saw the back straight in the opening couple of laps. You actually lifted off, it seems, to let him through. Was that did you just not want to risk a battle with him, or?
Yeah, well, I thought he had better pace than me, so I let him go, and I thought I could stick behind him for a few laps, and I did, but I lost DRS, and I thought it was pretty much game over from there. I kind of accepted the fact that I was going to finish second.
Yeah, indeed. And well, there was an unfortunate incident as well with Yerny Simončić at the late stages of the race. He retired after uncharacteristically hitting a wall and just shearing his front wing off completely and destroying his car. I assume your team manager, Menno Klon, saw that and told you to, well, in no uncertain terms, push like hell.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I knew Yerny was going to catch up with us and probably win the race, so I'm gutted for him, but I guess it's better for me. But still, it's not nice. You don't want to see that. He probably could have won this race, and he's got no points at all.
Yeah, he's come out with absolutely nothing, but you did get a considerably better result than Yannick Bock, your main championship rival. So you will extend your lead over him, and that must make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. That's all I was aiming for this race anyway.
Yeah, beat Yannick Bock, and well, let's be honest, that's a fairly good goal indeed. Adam Maguire, thank you very much. You still leave Canada as our championship winner, even though in this instance it wasn't quite the victory. But congratulations anyway, and we'll see you for the next race.
Cheers. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping we can get Fabrizio Gobi in and perhaps even Yannick Bock as well for interviews. Might be a short while before we can. Obviously, Mike Pittman will be debriefing them, but yeah, we'll see if we can. But yeah, great race, wasn't it, Caitlin Penny?
Absolutely, it was. I need to see a pattern as well. With you, Adam. We've got it went first, fourth, first, third, first, second. So if you're following that pattern, that surely means you should win every other race of the season. But anyway, yeah, we do have now Mike Pittman, I believe, who is the yeah, we do. Okay, and that is the team boss of the winning car. Hello, Mike.
Hiya. Nice to see you.
Yep, great to have you here, Mike. Absolute pleasure. And well, I'm wondering if we can get Fabrizio Gobi in later. Maybe you can convince him to come and have a few words with us. But I imagine he's pretty happy, and you're pretty happy with the victory.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him in as well, but he's off celebrating, to be fair.
Oh, don't blame him. I do not blame him.
Straight out, under pressure. Adam kept, and they were both under pressure from each other the whole race. They might as well have a rope tied to themselves. So, but no, I'm very proud of them both. Both drivers, to both in the top 5. Giuseppe probably could have done even better. He was kind of on Jordan's back wing the whole event. Up until where it mattered, I suppose. But no, fantastic guys. I mean, I haven't been around as much, so I'm not taking any credit for this at all. This is purely down to those fantastic drivers and team that work in behind the scenes here at Brooks Esports. Obviously, I've got other things launching with IMB and stuff, so that's taking the time currently. But there's the guys have done me so proud. They have had speed at other tracks and things as well, and just luck has just not been on their side, considering. But they really were on it here, and yeah, savour it where we can. Gotta love Canada, right?
Yeah, Canada, a real driver's track, and it's really going to bolster or bruise his feelings going into the rest of the season, isn't it? A victory here.
It's nice to get that on the board, I suppose. After the last few years, we've been very lucky to have a lot of them. It's one of those where actually let's get back to winning ways again. Let's not make it quite so easy for Adam for this season. Yeah.
Indeed, indeed, and well. Yeah, Adam, I mean, he's got to have something to keep him on his tools, so to speak. And, well, I guess that victory might just do that. But, yeah, Mike Pittman, thank you for joining us. And just before you do leave, I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much. As long as you don't sing, that I'm happy.
Oh, yeah, Mike Bell has asked me to sing, but I'm not going to because you've said no. So, sorry, Mike. No,
I appreciate that, and I couldn't have had a better birthday present for
yeah,
the guy.
A victory really. Indeed for Fabrizio Gobi, who I guess is going to be off celebrating, and well, I don't blame him for that. Mike Pittman, thank you very much.
Thanks, yeah, no, great to have me, and great work on the broadcast for both of you. Cheers.
Oh God, stop it, you! I just do my best, thank you. Oh well, Caitlin Penny doesn't look like we're getting Yannick Bock out of this for a short interview session, but oh, what a race!
Yeah, I think the race very much made up for it. I mean, we had drama. We had absolutely everything we could have wanted. Yesterday in Super League Lights, we had a driver pretty much just running away with the win, but battles going on further back. Today we had it all. It was just the more complete version of yesterday's race, and I'm so glad that I was able to commentate it. So thanks to Gerrit de Vries for inviting me, and also for streaming this and for providing the cameras that you watched as well. Couldn't do it without him, and yeah, I'm just glad to have seen such a fantastic Grand Prix.
Yeah, a fantastic Grand Prix it was, and a fantastic Grand Prix we have coming up in 2 weeks' time as well. Of course, Super League will continue. We are now a third of the way into the season, and Adam Maguire still leads the Drivers' Championship, increasing his lead over Yannick Bock as a third of this. Well, 6 races down we are, I believe, in a 16-race season. 10 races to go, and of course, now we've come out of Canada. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be going to France for the Paul Ricard Grand Prix, and that will be a real high-speed showdown in France. But until that time, I've been Josh Anderson, and I'd like to, of course, thank Gerrit de Vries for our camera work today and broadcast management, and of course, Caitlin Penny, who jumped in at short notice to stand beside me in commentary today. Caitlin, thank you very much for your help and support today.
No problem, Joshua. Thank you very much for being such a good, I don't know, good person to bounce off in the commentary box.
Indeed, and well, Canada, they speak French in Canada, they speak English in Canada, but it was an Italian celebration today, as it was La Prima Vittoria for Fabrizio Gobi. Can he keep it up for the rest of the season? Who knows? But until then, I've been Joshua Anderson, and oh, Canada, you've done it again. Fantastic racing and a fantastic Grand Prix in Super League.